Oh, whatever. What can be the harm? Ooh, okay, so we have some business to take care of, do we not? First of all, you'll notice that I have a wound. Do not worry, pay no mind. It just I keep hitting it, or my hair keeps hitting it, so I decided to cover it. Zez, you're not late at all. I started like 5 seconds ago. You are not late at all. So today, we're going to do something fantastically amazing. Or so I'd like to say. It will actually probably be rather average at first, but you know, we'll figure it out. And that is making videos live. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, and it turns out that OBS Studio, which is the program I use to make videos, you actually don't have to do anything to make it to be able to do so. While streaming, you can just also record, and you don't have to set anything up, and you almost can't set anything up. And that's actually one of the problems, so we will discuss that in just a sec. But yeah, so we can totally do that, which means that occasionally we could work on videos together. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I don't want to do this all the time. There are negatives to it, of course, but for the most part, I think it's a cool thing that we can definitely indulge in and like have more of a relationship with our content, which is great. That's exciting to me, of course. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna try it today. I think we're gonna make like an off-topic video, like just like a video about whatever. We'll talk about what we want to make. I haven't like determined what we're gonna make. Obviously, I have videos that I would like to make, but I'm not going to do them live yet, and I will explain why. There are a few limitations for now, but I think we might be able to bypass them with YouTube. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So that's what we're gonna do today. So if you have ideas for what we should make already, lay it on me, and I can start scripting right now. And we'll just do the whole process live. I'm hoping to make like a short video, and thereby complete the entire process on stream today. For a shorter video, I can totally do the whole process in like 1 or 2 hours from nothing to finished. And we can upload the video. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So lay it on me if you have ideas. I'm just gonna run Razorback while people get warmed up and while we decide what we're gonna do. I'm gonna finish out my Razorback runs. So yeah, hit me up for that. How y'all doing today? You did not miss the behold, no. We will behold when we'll have the behold be when we start making the actual video. When we that enemy got roasted. When we start making the actual video, we will do the video. We will do the video. Oh, ouch, wow. That was a spicy impact right there. And again, just to clarify, the topic can kind of be anything, but it can't be something I'm going to do for like a mainline release. Like, so it can't be a framework, and it can't be a tools of the trade, and I will explain why right now, I guess. I'll probably have to explain again. One problem with doing this is that streaming, it's really not feasible to stream at the resolution that I normally make videos at. Yeah. It's not really proper to force people's computers to try to load streamed content at the resolution that I normally make videos at, because it's just too high. People stream in 1080p 30, and that's like kind of okay. Even then, that's pushing it for a lot of people's systems, especially mobile. And people stream 720p 60, you know, that's common. But 1080p 60, which is the standard for recorded video content, it's just too high. Like, that's just too damn high. It's too much. Nobody would be able to watch the stream. So we can't compromise the stream while we make the videos. That's not gonna work. Now, however, having said that, I'm going to do two things to try to counter that. One of them is to first of all, we're going to make this one with upscaling, and I'm going to show you why it doesn't work on its own. Upscaling meaning like the stream is currently scaled down to 720p 60 from 1080p 60, which is what I'm playing at. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we changed to like last stream. That's extremely annoying. Why am I getting knocked back? Oh, because of the wall. Okay. I'm scaling it back up to 1080p 60 for the video, so the recorded content can be scaled back up. But of course, that's very lossy. It doesn't look very good, and you'll see. It doesn't look awful. It's hardly unwatchable. But that's what we're gonna do for this stream as a way to like demonstrate that problem. And then what we can possibly do is that the way that YouTube and Twitch handle base resolution is a little bit different. It might be that I can stream on YouTube at 720p 60, and people will be able to just select a lower resolution, and that'll be fine. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. So we can try that. I'm gonna experiment with that, like not on a main stream. We'll pop off a stream like tomorrow or Friday or whatever, just like a short one to test that out. But I'm not gonna do it when, you know, we're all expecting content. We all want to hang out and watch stuff. Let's not do that. I really like the Prisma Gorgon. People are asking, how do you like Prisma Gorgon? I really like it. It's great. It's a very boring weapon to build. I believe that there's little reason to not make this exact build, and so it's a bit boring to make builds for, but it is good and it is fun. It's got a lot of recoil, but just pull down, and it's pretty consistent. It's a consistent little sucker. It does a lot of bullets. It's nice, especially nice with Harrow and Volt, or perhaps Toxin Chroma for some reload speed. Rogue One says viewers just select auto quality. Not quite, because for some platforms you cannot change it, and for other platforms it will lag you based on what the base quality is. Like, you'll scale it down, but it still gives you some lag if it's live content, if its base resolution is extremely high, because your computer, the web service, etc., has to scale it down, you know. It's not like it just automatically is that resolution. Whereas when you watch a YouTube video, yes, I mean, it can just automatically be scaled down, of course, which is great. But for streaming, it is a little bit different. When I have done that on Twitch, people cannot select a lower quality. That might be partially because I'm an affiliate. But on YouTube, I simply don't know how it works with streams. And that is something we would want to investigate thoroughly before we just force everyone to watch a higher resolution. Because even scaling it down, I suspect that somewhere it will be slower. And again, we don't want to compromise the quality of the stream just for a video. That's not good. If we had to do that, there could be other solutions. I could potentially just run 2 recording softwares. That could be fine. Go figure. Where is Hunter Munitions? Hunter Munitions is only mediocre on this weapon. It is not necessary to use Hunter Munitions on every damn thing. It is, I believe it to be better as a spraying weapon, but that is just what I like, and it is perfectly respectable to swap this out. Here's what you would do. Bam. Bam. Hunter Munitions is not needed on every single weapon. That is a silly philosophy, but if you would like to do it, it is very, very simple. Of course, you know that, and there's really no point in showing Hunter Munitions builds for everything. There are some weapons that are good at other things too. I believe this weapon to be very good for, like, crowd clearing. I like it for that. I think that because you ramp it up, it's not a great precision weapon anyway, because if you have to do that ramp time again, it's not going to be fun for like headshotting people. And because of the heavy recoil, it's not great for reliable headshots, which Hunter Munitions likes. And it's also got a lot of status output. It's got a lot of status output. So corrosive is very high value. So go figure. Again, just pros and cons. You can run Hunter Munitions on loads of stuff. We don't need more Hunter Munitions weapons. So if you want to make it Hunter Munitions, go ahead, but it wouldn't be helpful for me to show you that. We're not actually going to talk about Inaros. People have been asking about Inaros. Inaros is just here to be here. He was just here to hold the gun. My feel when event drops Gorgon Wraith. I know, Salmon. I agree. Anyway, okay. Let me send out the news live with live content creation. Help us make a video. So again, if you have any questions about anything as we're going through like talking about making videos and stuff, just lay it on me. Don't be shy. That's part of why we're doing this, is that I have increasingly, inevitably, gotten questions about like what how I make videos, what stuff I use to make videos, etc. And that is an easy question to answer, but it is more fun to answer it by just showing you. So we're just going to show you, I think. So yeah, let's see. What could we make? It can just be something simple, but we, you know, like Zez, you suggested making a Razorback video. It's just not needed. Like people have Razorback videos already. It doesn't help anyone to make another Razorback video unless we had something better to say. And I've seen quick ones. I've seen short ones. So yes. But we could make like a weapon video. Having a weapon video would be okay. Tools of the trade, we're kind of already doing that. We could make a tutorial. I was thinking tutorial would be like a pretty good type of content to make together, because you all can help explain it in the best way possible. Like if I explain it a certain way, I can get feedback immediately about like what is working, what is not for explaining things. You know, there's a way in which making content live can be advantageous, can make the content better, by getting feedback while we're doing it, you know? And I think that is a good thing to aim for, but we can also kind of make whatever you all want. So what would you like? Panda, a video on the Keras is interesting because I actually am planning on doing that. I want to make I'm gonna make a new account pretty soon. Probably once the channel is not blacklisted anymore. I'm gonna make another account, and on Warframe, and make some tutorials, but like from the new account. So like go through, you know, selecting your first Warframe, etc., and talk about like what the decisions might be, what the weights on the decisions might be there. So I am planning to do that already, because the Keras would be the Keras is something that is a very good new player tool because it can carry covert lethality, which is a very easy way to just kill anything, and is a really good way to demonstrate that you don't need tons of power. Like when you explain the game's monetization system, primarily the pain point is slots and Orokin catalysts and reactors, but you don't really need them you don't need them like you want them, but you don't need them because you can just kill anything with a covert lethality Keras. You get the point. So that will be one of those videos. So I'll hold off on that for now, but that is something I'm interested in making. A video on actually useful Archwing mods would be sweet. Yeah, that would be hard, but we might be able to do it. I don't know. That might not be that hard. The only problem is, like, realistically, it would take a long time to like actually find them all, you know? That might be more of like a wiki video. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll think about that. That would be a helpful video, but it seems to me like the best way to present it might be, I don't know. Anyway, it's complicated. Gukas, welcome. I just realized that you're wearing Guru and Logging glasses and have menacing all over your thumbnail. Yep, indeed. What's the video you're trying to make? Pizza Lover, we're just figuring it out. We're just gonna make something together. We were thinking maybe a tutorial. I don't want to make like Tools of the Trade or Framework because the quality is going to be a little worse for now. I still have to test that more to fix it. How about a video about Kestrel dual wielding with M-Triply Flight and a secondary that has a Syndicate proc? Erebus, you know the Syndicate effects don't stack. You only get one from, I think you get the secondary one. I believe you get the secondary one. Useful AW mods. Razorback has a 1% chance of dropping the AW gun 6060 fire mod right now. That's painful. Well, useful Archwing mods do include something I just got, actually. Let's go recent. Gold Snap. This is a relatively nice mod. So it's for the Itzel. Makes your Cosmic Crush, that thing you spam to suck in loot. It makes that freeze enemies. Pretty strong mod. We could do a video about that, I guess. I intended to do an Archwing video. But we can do an Archwing video if that's what people want to see. Let's look at select mode, Archwing. I haven't actually looked at my Archwing mods in quite a while, so let's take a look. Oh, it is full. Okay. But I'm sure, like, okay, shield recharge. That's, like, vaguely valuable. Armor is not, is very unvaguely valuable. Okay. System reroute ability efficiency, huh? I could see that being, worthwhile. There's some duration. Health, of course. Energy max. All right. I, like, forget what the Archwing mods are. Wow, the strength mod is very weak. Very, very weak. Yeah, so I could see adding, so we could level up, like, system reroute. So basically do, the strength is actually not bad, though, because you're spamming, Cold Snap. Yeah. System reroute is very good, so it would be something worth leveling up. I think I don't have the endo for it. It'd be interesting to see. Shield capacity, okay. The health is probably only so good for the Itzel as well. Anyway. How much do I have full builds on these weapons? I don't have a full build on the Grattler, because I wouldn't dare try to put more Forma into it, because it takes so long. But hollowed bullets would be a pretty big benefit. What do we got in a Centaur? I haven't looked at these in forever. It's so interesting. Okay. Corrosive. Alright. Astral Slash. Classic. Anyway. Oh yeah, there is a prime version of the strength one. I'd forgotten that. Boop. Yeah, the efficiency mod in the Itzel is pretty spicy. I would like to try to level that up if I have the spice for it, which I don't think I do, but let's take a look. Thank you for the support. A tiny support. Every little bit counts, my dude. Don't belittle your lovely little support. That's very nice of you. Thank you. How you doing today? What's going on? We don't have enough credits to rank this up. Garbage. Alright. That's not going to work. Hey, look, Brainstorm. We should talk about... we should make a video about PvP mods that should be made into normal mods. Yeah? Like, like all of them. I want this so badly in, like, normal gameplay. This makes the Viper have infinite ammo for a little while when you get a headshot with it. Like, that's, like, what it needs. That would be awesome. That would be so cool. I don't know. Zandy Shorts, yes. Austin Brown, welcome. A tour of the solar map, ideal farming locations. Oh, that's not bad. McGamer Hellman's has a good video on that, but that's still not a bad idea. Do we have enough to say about that though? That wouldn't be that hard to make. Let's think about how we would make that. So, realistically, we're talking about like key nodes to get to. So we would mention maybe, you know, Hydron and Adaro. We'd mention Hiracon. We'd mention Rathumarina. We would mention Index. We would mention, I would probably mention Ophelia as a farm for Polymer and Plastids and Gallium. Very, very good farm node. Can also be used to level Archwing in a pinch, in a way. And then where there are remaining relays on PC, good Archwing leveling spots like There's one that was really good, but I like forget where it is now. But we could go find it. You just said, where can I level Archwing? Yeah, we could find it. The bosses and what they're good for farming. I feel this video has been done. Like, this video already exists. Somebody's already made this video. I don't know. Exactly. Like, it would be like Mott, Hydron, Barahenia, you know, like, stuff like that. Mott. Yes. Oh yeah, Julian, that's actually a good point. Maybe we could make a video about that. The great thing about the Razorback event is that it's an excellent time to go to Neptune and level Archwing gear. You can do this mission, and it drops good Archwing. You know, it's populated because people need the cryptographic ALUs, and you can level Archwing stuff. That's actually not a point. That's not a bad point. I could see making a video about that. That's not that bad. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl like a drunk. Yeah, boy. Yeah, the resource farming video, Hellman's already has a very good, very, very good video on that. See, again, like, I don't wanna quash so many ideas. It's just that a lot of people have made these videos already. I want it to be something that is different and adds value. Magnus Nate, I also respect the idea of attempting. You said maybe it already exists, but you could try to do it better. Yeah, not untrue that is worthwhile. And there are some of these videos where I do think the people didn't do a good job. Like, you remember when Kuva Survival came out, I made a very short Kuva Survival tutorial. I think all the videos in Kuva Survival are bad, and mine is the only good one, and fight me, like, but for a lot of videos, I don't think that's the case. Like, I've watched Hellman's, McGamer's, farming location video, and I think it's good. Like, it's everything that I would want from that video. I would just make the exact same thing if I was going to make it. But there are a lot of videos that I would like to see done better. Sure. And we could explore that a little bit. I'm trying to think of what I would have in mind for something like that. Anyway, maybe we could talk about like like some bad mods and like when they might be good. Or like things like Prime Shred. We could do a video about a mod. I think that's a good thing to talk about if we're doing a stream together, if we're making content together. Sort by rarity, I meant by rank. Or we could do, I'd been meaning to do a video on mods that it's helpful to not have at rank 10. Like Tainted Mag, for a lot of the weapons this is good on, ranking it up one more time is actually only a negative. It doesn't give you a positive anymore because of rounding with magazine size. We could do that. Magnum Force is terrible. We could talk about that and why it's terrible. It's so bad. It's like beyond bad. I can't believe I even ranked this up. We could talk about Spring-Loaded Blade. We could. I've actually been meaning to do a video on that for public service announcements. Oh, I think we're gonna do a video on Spring-Loaded Blade. We could talk about rank 7 Narrow-Minded, rank 7 Blind Rage, how it sort of like min-maxes the benefits and detriments of them in some ways, to have them at rank 7 specifically. You could talk about Arcanes and Exodias, sort of. I don't feel I have enough Arcanes to talk about them, but Exodias, I have been meaning to make a video as part of the Zaw content about like what Exodias would be good where, like when to use what Exodia, because I think people tend to just spam one that is their favorite, and that's fine. But I do think there are situations where certain ones are better than others. Well, Suicide Boy, just to be clear, like I don't highly recommend that you get level 7 Narrow-Minded and Blind Rage. It's not useful that often, but like when it's good, it's very good. Like there are some situations where you can't have minimum range, like because it breaks something in the build, but you still don't need range. You just want a little bit more than the minimum. And so rank 7 Narrow-Minded is really nice. And then rank 7 Blind Rage is more of like a spamming thing. You get a better ratio of total strength in the build compared to total cost of the abilities. Frozen Balls explained this very well in a video, and I've been meaning to talk about it a little bit because I think more people would benefit from that than know about it. But then there's also like the efficiency thing where like you have a full streamline, a full fleeting, and then a 4 fleeting, a 4 streamline. I would like a 3 fleeting. I have. They're all kind of useful. Magnum Force was made super obsolete by Augur Pact. Yes. True, Mr. Food. Welcome. Well, Charles, the thing about Spring-Loaded Blade though is like you're getting extra range, but like it's basically nothing. Like if you have primed reach, this is 30% like additive with primed reach. So like 150% and then 30% more, like it's like 10%. Like it's not possible to notice the range increase that this mod gives. It is truly worthless. There is never ever a situation where you should ever use this. The reason I want to make a video about it is because I suspect that they meant it to stack a few times and they just don't know that it doesn't, or like they implemented it lazily and nobody is talking about it because nobody has it. This mod is incredibly rare. And you get it from Plains content as well, which people are a bit burned out on. So I was thinking we could make an awareness video and then maybe they'll fix it or like make it worthwhile, because it is so utterly pointless to ever use this mod. It just does not do anything. It doesn't do anything really. As long as you have primed reach, and even if you don't, a normal reach is still a lot more. A lot more. We're getting a lot of questions, which is not bad, but we're not. This is not going to get us close to making a video. We could make a Q&A video. We could just make a Q&A video, I guess. That's a bit boring. Anyway, I'll answer. No, there's no rush. We're mostly just hanging out. Danny Pants, would you recommend gas and radiation together? Not overly, but on the Archiplasmor, it's kind of fun. Somebody mentioned my Archiplasmor video with that. I don't overly recommend that, but it's not like awful. It's nice because you'll gas proc the enemies and then they're ticking up damage and like dying, but they're not dead yet. And then they have radiation, so they're fighting each other. This diffuses them as a threat and like keeps them busy while they die, you know? Good. Hello Dodo said, what's better, viral or corrosive against Grineer? It's not that simple. Viral is good with slash, and corrosive is good not with slash. That is the answer you're looking for. You should build all weapons against Grineer because Grineer are much stronger than all other factions. So build everything against armor. You do not have to pay attention to shields or infested. You should build everything against armor. And corrosive should be picked when the weapon does not do slash procs, and viral should be picked when the weapon does do slash procs. If you're on the fence or you have both options, I would try looking at how much status output the weapon gives, and if it gives a lot, then corrosive might be better. If it gives less, then maybe viral. Viral, the procs don't stack, so having one viral proc is good. What I will say is that having viral is always some value. Like, it's not like viral is bad against Grineer. It's just not, like, amazing on its own, because it doesn't have any bonus against their armor, whereas corrosive will reduce a lot of health. But I'm mostly talking about procs, because the damage bonus truly does not matter in the face of the procs, which give a much larger damage bonus. If you have 4 CP on, then you always want viral damage, but it's kind of irrelevant what the procs are. I was mostly talking about builds for procs. So like this weapon has impact and a lot of status, so I have corrosive. And say, where's my Tiburon? This has Hunter Munitions, which means it has slash, and it has like less output overall because I'm firing at burst, so I have viral instead. So that is that. Much more has to do with the weapon than with like Grineer specifically. That's not what you should be looking for. You're looking for what the weapon itself does mostly. I hope that helps. And then again, if you're looking for yeah, see, a lot of people are saying like, do you have 4 CP? Viral if not corrosive, but that's not true. Like, if you just because you don't have 4 CP, which you very rarely will, except in onslaught or like in very organized squads, you're not usually going to have 4 corrosive rejections. So you're looking at whether the weapon does slash or not. That's basically what you're looking for. Viral is nice on burst fire weapons too, yeah. And snipers. Viral can be nice on snipers. There's that. And yeah, people are saying it in chat, which is very generous. But like, hello Dodo, I answer every question. Like, that's what we're here for. If I miss a question, I'll try to come back to it. But I try not to miss questions. Madruga, I don't think I saw your concepts in Discord. No. I don't know what you mean. I will look back. Yeah, Death by Ego, sort of. I mean, I actually found that when I tested Act Jagera, it does badly either way. And having slash corrosive versus slash viral, I found that they were about equal, personally. But the weapon's output does support corrosive, sure. I don't know. I found that because the weapon does not have the base stats, they're just not there. It is not really capable of becoming powerful no matter what. It doesn't have enough things to use. Its last few slots are just wasted. I have one format in mind, and I didn't finish it out because there isn't anything to put here. Like, there's no mod that you would add here that would make it stronger. Like, if we're going for viral, for example, which is what I have here, this mod, no matter what mod you pick here, it doesn't make the weapon stronger, no matter what it is. It would have to be crit. If you add more damage, it's mostly doing damage with slash procs, so that won't increase the damage. You could try to add, like, Augur Pact, I guess. I don't know. You could add fire rate, but then you're just running out of your magazine faster. I don't know. Anyway, it's sad. I love the Act Jagger. I wish they were good. Can we talk about how insane Twin Kratas are now? They've been insane for a long time. They did not just get insane. But yeah, I mean, they're great, of course. What's your opinion about Vauban and Nezha's deluxe skins that are coming out? Lucifer, Erebus, I think they both look dank. They both look awesome. Let's just... At this point, we're basically just making a Q&A video. So let's turn this into just like answering questions, because realistically, making a video is not going to be as productive as just people have lots of questions today. Let's just do that. We can revamp the video, making a video live together. We can do that another time. There's no harm. So let's do tutorial stuff today. We're just going to rename it Q&A for days. What's your opinion on Vacor Heck versus Corinth? They're very different weapons. I believe them to be very different weapons. Corinth has a sort of crowd control secondary feature. And I believe Corinth to be very nice with Hunter munitions, personally. Vacor Heck is interesting because it has this push and pull of having good follow-up shots and having good, like, tight range, but not being very good against groups of enemies and not having very good status. So, I don't know. There's a push and pull there. Sorry, I'm Hale. I missed your comment before about the comb. I got a comb ribbon that allows me 100% status. In that case, would you go viral radiation or corrosive blast? I've tested that. You can get to 100% status without a ribbon. You don't need a ribbon for that. But that's very good. I'm sure you know that that's very strong. But you don't need, I mean, I've tested that. I don't have a ribbon for it, but you can still get it to 100% status. And I personally found that corrosive blast is a little bit better. Although looking at the weapon stats, it would seem like it would be viral that you would want, I think. But I don't know. I don't know why, but I tried both, and honestly, I think corrosive and blast is better. But unusual for me, I cannot actually explain why. I don't know why it's better. But I tested it a lot, and I really do think that Corrosive Blast is stronger. Also, Shotgun Spaz is very good. Just saying. Catching up in comments. I don't think Vacor, Heck, and Corinth are super comparable. I think that they're just different things. Like Corinth has some utility, the Vacor Heck doesn't, but they're both good. Why doesn't Buzzlock count as a sniper? It's a heat-seeking full auto sniper looking thing, but it doesn't count as a sniper. Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, like a lot of the sniper mods would not be good on it, and the sniper shot combo would be really broken on it. So yeah, and then MomQuest is saying about the status thing. Generally, weapons that proc a lot of statuses are more viable for corrosive. Avosky said you could put another 90% elemental mod to make it further away into the status that you want. You're talking about for the Act Jagera. The problem is that I already did that. Like it's already like that. So if you go back, we already have Maim to give me more slash, which is what I want. I already have more viral than I need to get one viral proc and then a lot of slash. So more viral, more of either of these elements makes the weapon weaker. I did test this. I took off Quick Draw and tested it with like a less than fully ranked Convulsion and Pathogen Rounds or Deep Freeze. And it makes the weapon weaker, makes the weapon worse because you get less slash procs. And adding more slash doesn't do it. There isn't really even a mod for that, but it doesn't do anything because it's not increasing the slash proc damage. It makes it a little better, but not very much. It literally doesn't do anything. Like no matter what you put in this slot, it doesn't make the weapon better. There's simply nothing, which saddens me. Maybe we just need more mods. Anyway. MomQuest said what I was going to say about the comb. If you can get Corrosive Cold 100% status on the comb, it's really good, better than Corrosive Blast, yes. The ideal would be to use... The benefit of the Riven is not so much that you can get to 100% status, because you can already do that with Nano Applicator. The benefit is that you can remove Blast and have just Cold. Then you have damage against both kinds of armor, and slash procs, and just crazy output. It's amazing. Like, so good. Wonderful. Deconstructor Riven. What should I look for in a roll? Oh god. Death by Ego. It's complicated. Let's. Oh man. All right. Well, you had to go and ask that, didn't you? No, it's a great question. Status is one of the biggest things. The weapon supports very good status. I personally would like some attack speed. And I think that you should let's talk about this weapon a little bit. We should do a deconstructor video. I already did that, but still. There are a lot of ways to do this, but I recommend quick return and then some speed, some more speed, some real speed, so that you can fire discs very fast. And then it's got very respectable status. It becomes the Sentinel weapon that has good status output, truly powerful status output, not just like whatever status output, and that is very good. So status. Fire rate, or attack speed, but it's fire rate functionally. Reach, primed reach is actually kind of good. It increases the hitbox of the disc. That's actually kind of good. It's not great, but there's really not much else to put. So you can't put combo counter mod. You could do condition overload. If you have another condition overload, you could put it on. I'm not gonna do that, but whatever. You can do that. So I don't know. It's complicated. Remember, don't ever get 2 elements on a Riven, or not never, but I would stray away from it. Are there any weapons other than the Vectis series where Charged and Prime Chamber are usable? They're all kind of usable. They're usable on kind of everything. I mean, they're okay if you're willing to micromanage your reloads, or you're playing a Warframe that has faster reloads. They can all be fine. But I don't think you should build them onto anything other than a Vectis Prime. Not really. Or like a normal Vectis. Anyway. Yeah, having the Buzzlock have a shot combo would be okay. OP. Very OP. Literally firing a laser, it's true. You've heard of Act Jagera Prime, but are you ready for Jagera Prime? I would get that. Anyway. Yeah, sentinel weapons can be good. There are totally good sentinel weapons. I do think Deconstructor Prime is a little overblown. Like, there are a lot of people who are like, it's insane. It's not that insane. Like, if you put similar investment in other sentinel weapons, they are similarly insane. I don't know. It's not that good. I don't think it's worth it, but it is powerful. Like, it's not nothing. Don't forget cold procs extended duration of slash procs. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Mom Quest, there's certainly complications with using the comb for that, but cold procs are good for lots of stuff. The biggest thing that I like about cold and corrosive on the comb is that it doesn't knock the enemies down, and the comb has punch through innately, so you can fire through a crowd and still be hitting everything in the head without them, like, lying down. Like, that's not helpful. So I highly recommend going for cold corrosive if you can. And the damage bonuses are obviously just out of this world. Perfect. Fantastic. I only ever use Artax because of the free cold proc. Yeah, I mean, well, Austin Brown, you use Artax when you want, when that matters. And then when it doesn't matter, you can use Death Machine for lots of the deeps. Or Volklock is actually quite strong. Very similar to putting a Lanka on your Sentinel. Can be very strong. It's mostly strong in situations where you are AoE clearing, because then your Sentinel will snipe the remaining heavier enemies. For pretty respectable damage. Like, if you look at the stats of this thing, like, that's actually pretty gnarly. Like, those are those are pretty nice stats. So Omega, good job. It's pretty sweet. So Zandy, have you seen Infinity War yet? Nope. I'm seeing it pretty soon, but I have not yet. I was bored and acquired ribbons for all the Sentinel weapons for next to nothing. I know, right? Deconstructor's biggest weakness is that it has terrible range, yes. And Helios is a floating piece of paper. It's true. However, Framework has no problem with that. Because you can simply run the Helios with a frame that can protect it. If you use Gara, you can give your Helios the glass shards by looking up and to the left while you back up. And then your Helios is tanky. If you're playing Nezha, you can use the Halo augment and look up and to the left while you walk backwards and protect your Sentinel. So as long as you use it on one of those frames, you're good to go. You can use it with Zephyr. Her Turbulence will protect it. There are ways. It's not a non-issue, I agree. But you can just use the Helios on frames where that's not a problem. And then it's got pretty good damage output. Does Deconstructor count for Mesa's passive? No. No. No, it doesn't. It's only whether you have something in this slot or not. Someone once asked me if Gunblades count for Mesa's melee passive, and I was like, no, yeah, of course they do. Like, it's just a melee weapon. I mean, it's an interesting question, though. Volklock build, sure. I think I have a Riven, yes. But without, it doesn't matter. So you're building Gas Lanka, but on a Sentinel weapon. It's a little weird because I have cold on my Riven, which is not desirable because you want it to not interfere with your gas proccing. So I would recommend not having cold on your Riven. The ideal would be to get Toxin and Status Chance on this. Damage is not a huge deal. I could re-roll this. We could re-roll this. You can't use Vigilante Armaments on Sentinel weapons, which is too bad because it would help. Definitely run Vial Acceleration. A lot of people tell you to run 2 fire rate mods, which is good. The Volklock has the lowest fire rate of every weapon in the game. So I will maybe re-roll this. Do I have enough Kuva to re-roll that? We might farm Kuva in the background while we talk, because I do want my Volklock Riven to be better. I haven't been using it that much, but only because my Riven is not that good. We have like no Kuva. Yeah, let's get some Kuva. Anyway. I put a Volklock on for Tredolons to snipe those annoying Vomvalists. That's a smart use case. Alright. I haven't heard that before. That's actually a pretty good idea. I'll have to do that. That's smart. That's I like that. Dank. Let's play Mesa. Mesa. But Mr. Foot, you're going status and crit. It's a one build to rule them all weapon. If you've watched my videos, then you know what to build on the Volklock, just by looking at the stats. But I think it is rather alright with gas. I think it is an okay weapon with gas. It does a lot of damage if you proc gas. For a sentinel weapon, you're basically firing a frag grenade into your enemies, like, with your sentinel. Like, that's awesome. Like, it's a very nice surprise when it happens. It doesn't happen very often. I'm not trying to say that, but when it happens, it's a very nice little birthday gift from your sentinel to you. Okay, that was depressing. Are Gorgon parts a guaranteed drop? I believe they are. What? Okay, post-migration. For a sec, I was like, why can't I use my abilities? And did you see my animations had frozen? Recently got Limbo, and I don't know what to build him for. Also, I don't know why his first ability is supposed to be useful. Like, if you have his 4, why even use his 1? A couple reasons. First of all, the augment for his 1 is a quite respectable heal. Actually makes Limbo one of the better healers in the game. What in the world? What? Why are we here? What? Did you see that? Why are we here? This is wild. I've never seen anything like this. Why are we in the plains? How did we get out here? What? Did you see that? We literally queued up for Cuba survival and zoned in, and then I jumped off the map and we ended up in the plains. What the hell? Oh, what the hell, man? That's like beyond. That's far beyond normal glitches. This is like leveling up your glitch game. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. One time, this glitch put me into wave 19 of a random defense mission. What is this? Why? Why? DE, please. Jack Phillips, I queued up for Cuba Survival, and I was in Cuba Survival, and I jumped off the map. Like, I fell out of bounds, right? And then I ended up in a rank 4, stage 4 out of 5 bounty. Like, in the plains. It's a long drop from the Cuba fort. I know, what the hell? I can't even think about, like, my brain cannot even begin to comprehend, like, why that glitch happened. Someone found the world's source code. I know, what the hell? Oh man. Well, that's something else. All right. Well, I guess we're doing a bounty. Do I get the rewards? Like, is this gonna happen again? Am I gonna keep tumbling through missions, like, forever? Can somebody who's had this happen to them before give me some advice here? Like, should I keep doing this? Or will I not get rewards? I probably get rewards. What? That's so strange. These glitches, man. Out of this world. How is that turret not dying? Julian, you said, I've started using Taxon again, specifically for Mesa. Do damage mods or the weapon Taxon has equipped affect the shields generated by molecular conversion? No, they don't. Good question. No, not at all. Nothing affects that shield generation. But it's very good. I still highly recommend that you use Taxon for Mesa. It's a lot of defense. Planes are connected to Kuva Fortress confirmed. I know, right? I can show this Mesa build, sure. It's of course got a video, but that doesn't mean I can't show it. Hey, Carving Mantis, not bad. All right. I already have it, but still. Nice reward. Anybody need Carving Mantis? Ooh, baby. Make it! Okay, good job. Good job. There we go. Okay. Wisps? Wisps? No? Okay. We'll check really quick. Magnus Nate, I will make the Limbo video kind of soon, but it's complicated. Like, you can't just say, I don't mean to be harsh when I say this, but you can't, you know by now, you can't just say like, what stat do I focus on? Strength, duration, range, or efficiency. Like, it's not that simple. Like, there are I don't know if there are any frames where saying which of those things you should focus on is actually helpful, like actually explains like what you need to do. And see, somebody has already said Limbo needs a lot of duration in general. I actually was going to say that the best build I can think of for Limbo is minimum duration. The strongest effects that I have seen from Limbo, the most actually useful build in a random squad, is almost minimum duration. But it requires a lot of tricks and not literally minimum duration. And it's complicated. It's not as simple as you can never just say, you know, build this stat. A really interesting sort of counterexample to that mindset is there's some of you might know about there's a series of videos by Bricky Orchid, who is, I think, normally a League of Legends creator. I'm gonna send you one of these videos if you haven't seen them. But he does a series called Fast Frames, and it's like 30 to 45 second videos explaining you know, like what a frame does, sort of like what their abilities are, what their stats are, whatever, and then quickly giving a defensive build, quote unquote, and an offensive build, quote unquote, for them by basically just suggesting what stats to build for. And in that case, it's a little bit different because when you're doing that, you're basically just saying, like, if you want a place to start, you know, everybody understands that he doesn't literally mean build exactly this, because he hasn't even suggested exactly what to build, you know? Clearly, you would adjust it to your preferences. And so that's a reasonable way. If you have 30 to 45 seconds, that's a reasonable way to accomplish it, you know? So I don't want to criticize that approach like entirely, but I do think that it is reductive. If you are actually giving build advice, it is not very helpful for actually giving somebody a build setup. But yeah, so that series is cool. If you haven't seen that series, I will link you the playlist. I'm sure he has a playlist. If he doesn't, then I'm not going to link you it because that's bad. It's bad on him. Yep, he has a playlist. Good. Come on, Bricky. There you go. Good job. Fast frames. So you should hold on to this and watch it at your leisure. As a counter example, you can properly explain what a frame is about while giving specific builds and demonstrating the specific builds in 1 minute, because I already did it. Let's watch Zendaka, whatever it's called, whatever the hell I named this video. We're gonna watch it right now. Hold on. Anyway, yes. Magnus Nate, the thing about Limbo is he can do a lot of different things. You can finagle his abilities a lot of different ways, so there can't be one priority. You can't just say, like, with Mesa, like, you probably want some amount of duration so her abilities don't run out in, like, an instant. But from there, like, you can do a lot of different things. So we'll talk about this Mesa build in just a sec, but this is what I recommend. No, speed holster is not jank and unnecessary. It actually does something very specific, but if you don't like it, you can swap it out for, like, energy siphon or whatever. Just don't swap it out for corrosive projection, because it does literally nothing. Really doesn't do anything at all, because you're already getting corrosive procs from your guns, and you get so many, it really doesn't do anything. So let's briefly, we're going to watch this video, and then we're going to talk about it for a sec. I really am. We are going to watch my own video right on stream, but it's like a minute long, so go figure. Behold, Zenuric Energy Overflow remains active while holding Volt's electric shield. You'll only lose energy when running at full speed. Otherwise, you'll continue to regain energy even while holding a shield. Feel free to spam your powers. This is Zendaka Volt, boasting a Gurkata or 3 for ample critical status output through electric shield, allowing you to win any firefight. And should your enemies enter melee range, your Shocking Touch aura will stun them and prepare them for mutilation by Nami Skyla Prime, lightning fast blades that stack up slash procs and melt heavily armored targets. Activate Zenuric, Mega Shield, charge it up, and you're ready to challenge even the toughest opponents. Just make sure to reactivate your speed often. Melee enemies to rapidly regain health. Use Twin Grakatas to assassinate targets, and Prisma Gorgon for sustained fire. Aim for the head and trust carrier and speed to keep your guns supplied and reloaded. Not built for overload. Use shocks while firing your guns for extra crowd control if needed. Thanks for watching. Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon are in the description. Subscribe if you had a good time, and I'll hope to see you all tomorrow. Gotta go fast. Momka said, disregard the Xenarch thing, everyone. Nope, that's not true. It still works completely the same as before, and in fact, that is what we're going to talk about in Friday's video. All you have to do is build. This is pretty much the exact same build that was just in that video, but new Xenarch is better than old Xenarch. It's annoying to use, and we're going to talk about that in the video because that's the only drawback. But all you have to do is substitute where I said energy overflow. Just use energizing dash instead. It works the exact same way. It's actually better. It gives you more energy regen, and Volt's drain from Electric Shield has been buffed, like, sort of. There's less of it, so it's actually better than it was before. This loadout is significantly more powerful than it was in that video, and I agree that that video was a little fast, but you can do it. You know, we're not going to do it that fast when we talk about this build next, but yeah, you can totally do it. You don't need to disregard that. That video is still functional. All you have to do is swap out when I said Xenarch Energy Overflow for Energizing Dash. It works the exact same way. You just have to refresh it, which is no big deal. And I even balanced the time that the shield lasts for about 30 seconds so that when it goes down, your Energizing Dash buff is going down as well. It lasts 30 seconds. So then you just dash again, your shield goes away just in time. You already had to make a new shield and do something else. So you dash while you're not safe, and that keeps you safe. And then you make another shield, and then you're good to go. And you already had to do that every 30 seconds. So it's really no problem at all. So we'll talk about that. That's the framework that you all voted to do next. So that. Anyway, here's Mesa. Speed Holster makes you take out your Peacemakers faster, which is really good. Lightning Dash is to jump into the air higher so that you can shoot enemies while moving without using Mesa's Waltz. I believe this to be better. It makes you faster. I don't think that Mesa's Waltz is that good. I think it's a preference thing. If you have fun with it, then use it, but I don't like it, so I'm not going to use it. And I'm not going to recommend you use it. I think you should jump into the air and Peacemaker like that. Max efficiency so that you can rapidly reactivate and deactivate Peacemaker and stay moving. We can tank our range into the ground, like into the dirt, because we are going to rapidly reactivate and deactivate Peacemaker for a very low price, so it's no big deal. Good amount of strength, no need to overly stack strength. Bit of duration just for quality of life, and you get it from Narrow-Minded anyway, so after Fleeting Expertise. So, you know, whatever. And then Vitality, this is the biggest EHP increase from one mod. Mesa's Shadow Shield decreases damage dealt to health and shields, but Mesa's base shields are very low, and her base health is very high, and hey, health armor, great. So Vitality is the best survivability increase from one slot. And Staggering Shield makes it impossible for gunners to DPS you because they'll stagger themselves while being shot. As a lot of you know, I have a whole video on everything I just said, but I'm not always going to make you rewatch a framework every time we got to talk about something. But I will still send you the, that video. If you want a video of just that, it's right here on the YouTubes. So there you go. That's that. Again, don't corrosive projection here because it doesn't do anything. You're getting way too many corrosive procs from your what's it what, built like this. As it turns out, it is better not to use a base damage mod, and I'm going to leave it at that because there is something coming out soon that will explain why it is better not to use Hornet Strike. Your damage goes up a lot if you use a 90% element instead of Hornet Strike. I know it looks really weird, but for Peacemaker, just for Peacemaker, not for normal builds. This is for Peacemaker. Hornet Strike is a DPS loss. It's actually like a fairly large DPS loss, so don't do that. Does range actually affect regulators? Yes. Jack Phillips, range affects how small the reticle gets. You know how there's a targeting reticle and it gets smaller every time you shoot? Range affects the minimum size. So if you have a lot of range, then even if you shoot a lot, it will stay big. If you have a very, very low range, then it will get very small very fast. So if you have very low range, it's going to become cumbersome to use if you do not reactivate, like reactivate it. If you're going to use it for a long time, like with Mesa's Waltz, then you should have a little bit of range. Otherwise, it's basically not an aimbot. It's just a normal gun, and you're going to have your speed multiplier, your gun multiplier stopped a lot of times. But as you can see, I can Peacemaker for 6 energy. Like, I don't need to, I can just spam it. Even if you have Arcane Velocity, Gunslinger or Anemic Agility is actually what's better, is still the best 8th mod in your build. It's a normal hybrid build. Replace Hornet Strike with another element making corrosive, and then the best 8th mod is Anemic Agility by a lot. Even if you do have Arcane Velocity, it's still the best. Because Peacemaker does more damage every 2 shots, so that's good. Is Staggering Shield really necessary? No, not at all. But it's very good. It makes gunners basically incapable of hurting you, so even if you're like level 200 enemies, the gunners can only shoot you like 1 time. So they will get staggered and not take the damage. You will not take lots of damage. This will prevent enemies that would be able to deal enough DPS to kill you from killing you. I find that with this mod, you will never ever die with Shatter Shield up. Whereas without it, against high enough level gunners, they will be able to do significant DPS into your Shatter Shield, and you will eventually be able to die. It's not necessary, but I don't need anything else in this slot, so replace it with range if you want, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's good. That's all. That's all. Secure Electa for Healing Whip. The healing whippies. Very, very strong healing return whip weapon. This is not really meant for damage, but it actually does pretty good damage. Somebody said, for that matter, don't use Pistol Amp either. Yes, indeed. Do not use Pistol Amp. It is very bad. It is like a very weak version of Hornet Strike. And Hornet Strike is already not good on this. Pistol Amp is even worse. Do I not have Pistol Amp? Or am I just completely blind? I have a non-leveled up Pistol Amp. Where's my Pistol Amp? Maybe I just don't have it. I don't have a Pistol Amp. I think I just got rid of it. Anyway. Boop. Wait, strength mods for Warframe Exalted weapons stack additively with normal damage mods. Is that what's happening? Yeah, Mr. Food. So strength mods on Warframe Exalted weapons are base damage mods, basically. That's why it's not good to add Hornet Strike, because it's the way this build is set up. It's like you already have Hornet Strike, basically, and a lot more actually. This damage multiplier 3.13. That's like having a Hornet Strike and an Augur Pact on your weapon already. If you already had a Hornet Strike and an Augur Pact, you wouldn't put another Hornet Strike on. That wouldn't be the best DPS increase. So that's why CP is better than Pistol Amp. That's true, but it's still not very good. CP only gives you like 5% DPS increase. On an average kill. Is it even worth it to use Mesa's passive? Isn't having a melee better in most cases? Well, Mesa has 3 passives. You shoot dual-wielded sidearms faster, not very much faster, and reload single-handed sidearms more rapidly, actually significantly rapidly, and you get bonus health when not using melee weapons. Definitely not worth it. I used to think it was worth it, but you can get so much sustain by adding a melee weapon that is just dedicated for healing at range. You don't want to be meleeing in close range, because your Shatter Shield will allow you to take damage, but having a melee weapon that is for healing only, I mean, this actually does pretty decent damage too, but is for healing only. This actually heals you for a ton, but is way more worth it than gaining like, 25 more. It's like, it amounts to like 1,000 EHP. Like it might sound like a lot, but it's not. It's totally not worth it. 500 EHP, excuse me. So yes. Is it the same for Xcal? Could I get rid of Pressure Point for something else? It depends a lot on your power strength. And the other thing to consider, Amheel, is that the calculations are different. The way that Peacemaker calculates its damage is very odd. Peacemaker has a base damage that is not affected by mods, and then it has a damage multiplier that is affected by mods. That is what makes it exactly the same as being a damage mod. Not all Exalted weapons look like that, so without diving deep into Excalibur's math, I can't say for sure off the top of my head whether it is actually better to remove Prime Pressure Point, but it might very well be. But when I looked at Excalibur's Exalted Blade build, there isn't anything you want in that space that benefits you. So I don't think you should, but maybe you can. Maybe we'll take a look at that. But I can't say off the top of my head. 3.12 damage multiplier is basically a Hornet Strike that says 213 damage. Yeah, basically. Something like that. Nothing makes sense. I know, right? Boop. So Austin Brown, you said, is it worth it to use Mesa's passive? It's not worth it to do the melee thing, no. You should run a melee that's for healing, yes. A ranged melee for damage, or just the melee that's for healing, yes. Do not use a melee with Mesa. You should definitely use a melee with Mesa. But the other parts of her passive are good. The dual-wielded sidearm faster thing, I don't think is that good, but the reload speed for single-handed sidearms is actually a lot. Like, it's a pretty respectable amount of reload speed. That's actually pretty good. I think that whatever your stat stick is, might as well have it be a single-handed weapon so that you get that reload speed, because it's pretty nice. Oh boy, we finally provoked someone. Why not use Dual Toxicist for the fire rate buff? Well, it was changed. Dual Toxicist now stacks its buff, so it can refresh its buff, excuse me. So you fire it ahead, and it used to be that you got 6 seconds of the buff that did affect Peacemaker for the duration of the 6 seconds. And that would give you lots of fire rate and whatever, and that was good. They changed it, so now Dual Toxicist only has a 3-second duration on its buff, but Dual Toxicist can refresh its buff. This is a big buff for Dual Toxicist, but for using it to buff Peacemaker, it's a pretty big nerf, because you need to be able to get a headshot very, very reliably, very fast, and then you only get to use the increased fire rate for like about 1.5 seconds, even if you have incredible reaction time and you have very consistent headshots. It's just not possible to use the buff for more than like about 1 second. It's just not a large benefit anymore. But it is, like, the buff is powerful, and before it was by far the best thing to do. Whether you have anemic agility or gunslinger is not relevant. It was still the best thing to do, and if it lasted 6 seconds, it would still be the best thing to do. But it doesn't last long enough. It's not consistently worth your time to like take time to get a headshot. That is why. Personally, I have been using Sinoid Gamma Core for reasons abound, actually. When you happen to be restoring your health with Secure Electa, you don't need to equip it because you're just slide attacking. So you can hold it out. We can show this. We can just go show this. So you can hold out your Sinoid Gamma Core, and then you get a Syndicate proc that can restore your energy, which is a nice little bonus. That's good. Sinoid Gamma Core is also incredible at destroying nullifiers, which is one of Mesa's biggest weaknesses, so that's great. And Sinoid Gamma Core does not need to have mods specifically for killing nullifiers on it to effectively do enough damage to nullifiers to kill them, so it's okay that you don't have Hornet Strike. It will still kill the nullifier just fine. So that's great. That it does that. And then it reloads really fast. Because of Mesa's passive, it reloads very fast, which is nice. Having a fire rate mod makes it run out of ammo a bit faster. Still not very fast, but a bit faster. And it still kills nullifiers right quick. Let's pull up some Nully Boys. 1. Specifically. So we'll buff up. Let him charge up that... Oh, no, my Sentinel's gonna do it. Okay, whatever. Hold on, let me... Taxon. You see, you don't even actually need that to help you because Taxon can do it, but freaking Taxon's like, I want to do it. I want to show them. I can kill the nullifier. Like, thank you, Taxon. Okay. And you pop. I missed the head, but you get the point. Very nice. So again, it destroys the bubble very, very fast, and then you can just shoot them. Like, you don't have to do what I just did. Let's back up. Show me that bubble. And you can just, like... I took them out so fast that I canceled them. Anyway, you get the point. You can Peacemaker them once the bubble's down to kill them very fast. No big deal. So yeah, very, very good tool for dealing with nullies that I highly recommend. Nice. Very quick. Smooth as silk. And very good for clearing multiple of them as well. Let's pull up a lot of a lot of things. Boop. Easy. So yes, definitely do that. Wonderful. Augur Secret should be way more accessible. Almost none of the people I play with have that basically necessary mod. Augur Secrets is one of the least necessary mods in the entire video. There are very few, I mean in the entire what? In the entire game. Augur Secrets is not remotely necessary. Very profoundly unnecessary mod. Most builds do not even have space for more and more and more ability strength. It goes on very few builds. Most of the times that you see Augur Secrets are when people are just like big EP-ing a build and they just want to show huge damage, but it doesn't actually do anything. It's not actually good. One of the ways Augur Secrets can be valuable though is like things like, do I still have that made? I might not still be doing it this way. I'm not still doing it that way. Sometimes it lets you reach a critical threshold of strength without using Blind Rage, which is valuable. Yes. Let me go back up. In your last Twitch stream, I asked about the Archiplasmor and you directed me to your video. While doing some research of mine, I saw that they nerfed it and removed the headshot multiplier. Is laser sight still worth it anyway? Overlord Bunny, you've misunderstood. It doesn't have anything to do with the headshot damage. Laser sight is simply a better mod than the other critical damage mod for sniper rifles. So let me show you Arca. I should have explained it better in the video. It's not your fault. So if we search critical chance, there are only two mods that increase critical chance for shotguns, Blunderbuss and Laser Sight. And Laser Sight just gives you more. It's just a better version of Blunderbuss. Because the Archiplasmor is basically automatic headshots, Laser Sight is literally just the better Blunderbuss. It doesn't have anything to do with like headshot damage. It just you always hit heads. Like no matter what, like when you pull the trigger of this weapon, you always get headshots. So like if we'll pull up the gun boys again, the gun squad. It has nothing to do with headshot damage. They did remove the headshot damage multiplier in this weapon, but the reason they did that is because this weapon literally always gets headshots. Like I'm not remotely aiming. I'm just spamming into a crowd, and like these are all headshots. You can see every single time I've shot, I've gotten a headshot. Because this weapon just gets automatic headshots. So the only reason we're using Laser Sight is because it is a better version of Blunderbuss. That's the only reason. In fact, I never recommend you use Blunderbuss. You should never use Blunderbuss. The only weapon that it would be okay on would be Vacor Heck. But even on the Corinth, which is the other weapon where it would be like a thing you'd consider, Laser Sight is still much better because you can use the air burst to automatically score headshots just like you can with Archiplasmor. So Corinth, we're shooting normally. Yes, okay, maybe you can't automatically hit a head for sure with that. But what you can easily hit heads with is the air burst. Bam, got it. And now I have my crit. And I can go Hunter Munitions crazy. Of course, I'm not actually hitting headshots with that part, but you get the point. You can very, very easily proc your Laser Sight by just spamming the air burst, or firing off the air burst one time. You don't have to spam it. Bam. Okay, that time I actually missed it, to be fair. There we go, got it. It's still pretty consistent. So yeah, it's just the Laser Sight is just the base critical chance mod for shotguns. It's not literally the base critical chance mod for shotguns, but it's better than the base critical chance mod, so. Where do you get it from? It's an Acolyte mod, that's the problem. This is, the other mods that are like this, like Argon Scope, they're not as good as the other ones. So, for example, I will go look up, what weapon was I using it with? The Tiburon. Where's the Tiburon? The Tibby. Bam. For the Tiburon, I use Argon Scope and Point Strike. Why is Point Strike friggin' Sentinel weapons? And you'll notice that Argon Scope is less critical chance, right? Like, this is Point Strike, which has more critical chance, and this is the conditional one that has less. The idea being you always want to put this reliable one on first, and then the unreliable one is like bonus if you can get it. And shotguns are just peculiar in that that's not the case. As you saw before, the normal critical chance mod for shotguns is actually weaker than the conditional one. The trend is true of pistols as well, where the conditional one is weaker, like hydraulic crosshairs is weaker than prime pistol gambit. But for shotguns are just weird in that their conditional one is more than their non-conditional one for whatever reason. Primed blunderbuss when, but yeah, so that's what's going on there. My brother literally rage quit Warframe because he couldn't get a copy of Augur Secrets to get the absolute maximum power strength from his Emperor. What? What the hell? Yeah, so trade for it. Look it up, whatever. Thanks, Sandy. Now I'm going to sleep again, knowing that nothing in this game makes any... Yeah, it's true. It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. It's true. I'll see you later. Anyway, A Teenager's Guide, I don't know. It's very stress-free to trade. I've actually never run into any problem whatsoever trading in all the time that I've been playing Warframe, and I've used Warframe Market for it. I've almost never bought anything on the market. I don't use in-game trade chat, and I don't recommend you use it either. Just go to Warframe Market and search, what is this mod called? Laser Sight. And search Laser Sight. I'm doing it right now. 8 platinum. So I'm going to mention this guy. Was not was. /whisper. Was not was. Hey, can I buy a laser sight for 8p? Bam. They're not online. That sucks. All right, next person. Falcao. Not Falco? Bam. Hey, can I buy a laser sight for 10p? Boop. And they came up. Let's see what we can do. And then if I get this one, I'll just give it to you. But yeah, it's beyond stress-free. Like, A Teenager's Guide, you had a bad experience. Like, I promise that if you don't use trade chat, it's entirely, completely stress-free. I've never had a bad experience at all. No problem at all. Invite when ready. Lovely. Yeah, seriously, 10 platinum for laser sight? That's a bargain. Yeah, boy. Do you trust low MR to trade with you when you get big amounts of platinum from them? Yeah, they probably just bought it with money. There's nothing wrong with that. I have never ever paid attention to a player's MR for any reason. I have never looked at a player's MR in the entire time I've played Warframe for any reason. And there is never a reason to. You should never even look at a player's MR. They probably just bought it with real money. There's nothing wrong with that. Max power strength on Ember is so funny. Still, that gets me. Sorry, Austin Brown, I missed what is a great question. I have a hydraulic crosshairs. Is there any real use for it? Yes, absolutely. It's a very good mod that I highly recommend you use on a few weapons. When it's good, it's good. But those mods where you get like double stats are always a little bit dubious, because most of the time it's better not to double up on the stat. But I can show you a few weapons that it is good with. One of the greatest examples is Twin Gricadas. Is a good weapon for it. Not perfect, but good. Well, Jack Phillips still, but like it's not like you can't be paranoid about that just because the person is low MR. I would go so far as to say they're more likely to have a lot of platinum that they just bought. But again, like you looking at MR is not a way to fix that necessarily. It's like you still have no control over it. You can't just be paranoid and insist that people have, you know, you're MR3, so you can't have that much platinum. They might very well. I don't know. I still wouldn't recommend that you actually call to it. Like, if it happens, it happens, and they got unlucky, and DE's support will have to sort it out. They will have to sort it out. Oh, right, platinum. Okay. I was like, what am I doing? What am I buying? Boop. Lovely. And we got a laser sight. Yeah, boy. This is a nice dojo, too. Look at these smoke effects. It looks great. I gotta do mine more. That looks awesome. Anyway. Time to make dual DACA. What is dual DACA? Oh, you mean, okay, dual DACA with 2Ks. Okay. So yeah, if you want some weapons for hydraulic crosshairs, let's take a look. Twin Krakatas. So, this weapon has phenomenal accuracy for its crazy output. So hydraulic crosshairs is a perfect fit. Particularly nice on this weapon because it gets it to about exactly 100% critical chance. So you get really consistent crits. It feels great. Very nice weapon for that. Let's see what else. It's always like a choice that you can make on weapons like Lex Prime. I don't personally use it. I've personally still had more luck with a balance of Prime TD Charge and Corrosive. That's just what I like after trying lots of things. I don't normally like having a third element, but I like having a bit of crowd control so I can do follow-up shots. That's just what I like, but Hydraulic Crosshairs is great on weapons like this. Very, very nice. It's pretty nice on Axomati, like the Soma Prime type of weapons. It's alright on Akbolto. Accuracy is not great, that's the only problem. Can be fine on weapons like Ballistica. Fuseli, I don't know. If you're a crack shot, I guess. On the Nell, it's fantastic. Core mod on the Nell. Because you are getting headshots or you're not getting anywhere. So you should definitely run it on the Nell. I think this is a unarguable core mod on the Nell. It's just perfect. It fits perfectly. Good Eidolon killing build right here. Very, very nice Eidolon killing build with infinite ammo. Very nice. Let's see what else. Pendero, sure. You get good follow-up shots. You've got good crit chance. Sounds fine to me. Sicarus Prime, you'll get it within the same burst because it's a burst weapon. Yeah, there are lots of good weapons for it. The thing to keep in mind is that you don't just want to put it on everything with good crit, you know? That's all. Okay. So why is Andy buying a laser sight? I wanted to demonstrate that it's very easy to get. Somebody was saying they didn't like going through trading, and it's very easy to get. Usually very good experiences. You can get mods very fast, very cheap. Warframe market, go do it. No, I mean, I agree that listen, people are talking about the Warframe support thing with like platinum on lower MR accounts. I'm just saying as a content creator, I'm going to discourage people from not trading with people just because they're low MR. There's no way around it. I'm just not going to tell people not to do that. You can say in chat you're personally not going to do it. That's fine, but I am going to tell my audience, actively do not avoid trading with people with low MR. That's bad for the game. I know it's like a tiny risk, but it's terrible for the game. And I think just as an act of goodwill, we need to have faith that DE support will get it together, and they'll go back on all that stuff. So, I don't know. You can decide for yourself, but I'm saying as a channel policy, I want to encourage people to do that. Did the weekly Warframe show get delayed again? Yeah, Joey Zero had to reinstall Windows or something. But we were talking about it just now. He's working on it, but he... and we all had our... I mean, I made my segment like, what is it, Tuesday? Like 5 days ago. So I already know what we're... that. Anyway. Hey, Zandy, what do you think about a viral Hunter Munitions build on the Tonora? Sure. All weapons like that, it's fine. I personally prefer using decorrosive, but I think we can show both. We could try both. I kind of like Shred on the Tonora, personally. I think the magazine really supports more fire rate, so I would recommend this. This is just what I like, but there's no reason you can't do that. Tonora has a very even damage profile, so it kind of supports it. Let's try both. Let's compare both. Oh, and I can even put in Prime Shred. Nice. Oh yeah, because we still have the Volk on. We still have the Volk on. But yeah, Scott Patterson, let's get into it. I will compare. Blake Heron, you said, what kind of builds do you run on the Axomati? Just hybrid. You pretty much, if the weapon has good crit and decent status and or fire rate, you always run the one build to rule them all. Go check out my channel, one build rule them all video. But you know, you'll be seeing it too. So let's shoot these guys with this. So this is the corrosive build with Prime Shred. See, we got most of that crowd. We killed about 5.5 of them. Pretty nice. And you know, we'll test the bombards too. And now we're gonna swap to. We're gonna take off this Volclock. We're gonna swap to. Swap this out and swap this out, and now we've got 100 munitions viral. Let's try again. See, we're slower and we don't have punch through, but you can see that the more plotting damage does fare a little bit better against like groups of enemies, spreading the damage around. But as you can see, the overall damage is not that good, and I think that's mostly because of it lacking critical consistency. Let's add Argon Scope instead of Vigilante Armaments and see if that helps. That can often help with the this type of build. So we're gonna do Arg. Boop. So now again, we're losing some status consistency, but we don't need it because we're just doing viral, and a little bit of output, a little damage overall, but we're gaining critical consistency for 100 munitions. Normally I'd say Vigilante Armaments is just better, but for 100 munitions, obviously this can help. See, that's pretty good. So the consistency when you start getting crits is nice. But you can see we're still not killing these targets too quick. Not bad, but the punch through really does help, even in a staggered group like that. It does make a pretty big difference. Let's briefly test against these bombards. Pretty good, because the bombards have less, like, raw health. Jimon, hi. What's up? I missed you earlier. Okay, my head. Ow. Oh, see, it's quite good against the bombards. I was like half a magazine and I got like 3 of them. Which is not bad. But I also just don't like how it feels. I personally just enjoy the feeling of the other build better. So we're going to go back to status. Boop. And Vigilante Armaments. And Prime Shred. And yep. You can see against the bombards is bad at first, but then once the armor goes off, they start dying pretty fast. Definitely distinctly worse against the bombards, though. Not bad by any means, but worse, you know. Especially if you don't sustain fire for a while. But against groups of enemies, it's just the monster. Even if it's not that many enemies, like, punch through on this kind of weapon is just very strong. Very strong. And the fire rate, again, the magazine does support the fire rate, which is good. Fire rate is an amazing damage multiplier on primaries as long as the magazine supports it. And it definitely does. Anyway. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, MomQuest, I just got Prime Shred, too. What are your thoughts on Catalyzer Link? What an interesting question that I have not been asked very many times. I don't even think I have Catalyzer Link. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. That's one of the when you cast an ability you get status, right? For rifles. Yep. So Catalyzer Link is not, let me link it, because I know basically nobody knows what that is, and I don't think I have it. Let's check if I have it, actually. No, I didn't think so. So Catalyzer Link is basically like, we can show the shotgun version on the comb. It's basically this, but for rifles, and it only gives 60% status chance. So Catalyzer Link is pretty much always bad because you could just add a dual status element instead. There really isn't a reason to use this. And additionally, rifles have the problem that they're sort of, there's this misconception that 100% status is good on rifles, like special on rifles, but it's not at all. It's special on shotguns because they have their status divided among their pellets until 100% when they magically do not have it divided among their pellets. The same is not true of rifles and other weapons. They always do not have it magically divided among their pellets. So it's just a matter of output, which means that reaching that 100% status like threshold, it's not a threshold on anything but shotguns. So you do not ever want to use it. I would say Catalyzer Link is never ever good. There is never a reason to ever use it. It's still interesting that it exists though. Yeah, I mean, Scott Patterson, if the test helped, then job is done. I actually think we should try the same types of comparisons with Prisma Gorgon because my build is exactly the same. This is the exact same as my Tonora build, it's just on Prisma Gorgon. Boop-a-doop, boop, boop, boop. Just going back through questions. Does Prime Shred make much more of a difference compared to a normal Shred? Yeah. The fire rate is what makes the big difference. Shred's fire rate bonus is a little small. Prime Shred's is a lot bigger. Like, you're getting a pretty substantial DPS increase from that fire rate increase. The punch through increase is not a big deal. You're getting more punch through, but it's having some punch through that usually matters, not like more. It's still nice, but it's not great. It's the fire rate increase. Like, Prime Shred goes from like being a punch through mod that had a little bonus of DPS increase to being like basically like if you compared to Speed Trigger, like it's basically Speed Trigger with free punch through. Like that's really good. Like that's like 2 mods put together. Primed mods with multiple stats. I think Prime Shred is one of the only ones with multiple stats. That's very, very strong. Like that both of them increase. It's very strong, deceptively strong. Until I got this like 2 days ago, and literally it's insane. Like I had been like Prime Shred's no big deal. It's completely a big deal. It's so powerful. I don't like that this is a login reward. But you know, if they add the system where you can pick the login reward you're working toward, that's fine. Sorry, I'm behind on questions a lot, but we're still gonna keep going through them. So we'll talk about the Gorgon thing in a sec. Let me catch up. It's pretty nice. I think Prime Shred gives it the speed it wants, but it might be a little too fast. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Reload speed helps this weapon a lot. Normal Shred is still good. Somebody said that doesn't mean Shred is bad by any means. Yeah, Shred is still good. Like I don't think that like on weapons where you want primed Shred, I don't think just because you don't have primed Shred, you shouldn't use Shred. On pretty much all of those weapons, you should still use Shred. It's just like it goes from being like desirable utility to being like the best mod on the build. Is the difference. You know, you still want it. It's also very good with gas. Gas. Vosley, you said I prefer killing things by myself instead of hunting munitions. It feels waiting for things to die. It depends on the build. There are some builds where you're not, like, you're technically waiting for them to die, but it doesn't matter because they won't be doing anything until they die. A really good example of that would be, what can I give you an example of? Let me think of a good example, but there are good examples. In other words, like, if they get hit with some kind of crowd control along with it, then the enemies are not literally dead yet, but they've been dealt enough procs to die, and they're crowd controlled, so they are dead. Like, they've been removed as a threat. In that case, I don't care. But there are a lot of weapons, like when we were just firing the Tonora just there, where like those enemies are still a threat if they're not dead. So doing more upfront damage is more desirable. I agree. But it depends a lot. It can vary a lot. Jonathan Su, you said, in your opinion, what percentage of slash damage does a melee weapon need before you would devalue Condition Overload enough to remove it from the build? Like 70, 80%, like pretty much all. It has to be a weapon I'm gonna run slash enviral on. So for example, let's try to give a more extreme example. Oh yeah, sure. How about Crescent Rose? Yeah, perfect. Okay. This is a weapon that I would recommend running slash viral on. I still think you should use condition overload, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Because the split of slash and puncture, it's mostly slash. You will get mostly slash, but it's a significant amount of puncture. This weapon, we should calculate out the exact numbers. Austin Brown, you said, isn't condition overload always good unless a weapon has literally no status chance? If the weapon is basically guaranteed to only inflict 2 statuses, it's kind of not that good. It's like all right in those situations. If the weapon will ever be attacking something that has 3 statuses on it, condition overload is the best mod in the game. If the weapon will have 2 statuses, which almost all weapons will, on a target, except like pure corrosive weapons with a stance with no procs, and that's like almost nothing in the game. Those weapons, condition overload isn't good, but that's like almost nothing. Like I could make a build that was like that, but you just wouldn't want to use that weapon. It doesn't have anything to do with condition overload being bad. That weapon is bad, or it's not bad, but it's much weaker. Okay, we're catching up. I don't need Catalyzer Link. I don't want it. It's terrible. What are your thoughts on bladed rounds and sharpened bullets? They're both good, but I think that Argon Scope is usually better for consistency. Boss to Boss, you said, hey Zandy, I'm trying to get together with this girl from school and she seems interested in me as well. Should I ask her to some coffee tomorrow? If you think so, then go for it. As long as you're going to be respectful, no matter what she says, then go for it. Yes, you should totally. Absolutely. Be open to what the person is looking for. Make sure that when you are asking her things and when you are out with her, you throw your desires out the door. Like only pay attention to what she wants, because if you don't, I know it doesn't sound fun, but if you don't do that, then when you leave, you're going to be wondering, does she want to like, do the hookups or whatever, or go on a date again or whatever, or talk or whatever. I didn't mean to assume that you want the hookups. I'm just listing the things, and that was what I listed first. You won't know that unless you look very carefully at like how she's acting and how she's feeling about it, and make sure that she doesn't feel like she's pressured to do things. This is always the mistake that people make when they're dating. They actually have no idea what the other person felt when they went out with them, and they didn't really learn anything about them because they didn't react to what the person was sending out when they were on the date. So you need to, your goal is only to figure out what she feels while she is spending time with you. Only. Nothing about you should even factor into it. Learn about her, get to know her, try to understand her and her feelings, and do nothing else, and it will be successful. And if you do anything else, it will fail. So don't do that. That is my suggestion. But yes, if you're prepared to do that, then go for it. Absolutely. Good job. Let me go. What did you swap out Hornet Strike for on Mesa? Josh Merritt, I'll just say now, that's the Joey Zero Weekly Warframe Show tip that I did for the next one coming up. So you'll see that in there. I'll talk about that in there. That's why I didn't go too much into it. But you'll see a whole segment on that. I swapped in a 90% element, either pathogen, rounds, or convulsion. It doesn't matter which one. I thought status works the same with rifles concerning multi-shot. Nope, because rifles always, all weapons always divide their status among their, or not divide their status, excuse me. All weapons duplicate their status for their additional pellets except for shotguns. So shotguns, the reason it's good to get to 100% status is because then they do duplicate their status for their pellets, but only at 100%, and until then they don't. Whereas rifles and pistols and every other kind of weapon in the game already duplicate their status per pellet. So reaching 100% is actually bad in a way, because it means that you are guaranteed to be wasting some of your status. And it doesn't magically make you get way more status the way it does with shotguns. It's only special on pellet shotguns. Again, people just blindly say 100% status because it looks nice without ever even considering what it actually does. You're looking for output, status output. And pellet shotguns are the only ones that work differently. Otherwise, you just want to run your 2 elements and that's it. Pretty much always. It's the fire rate increase is what you go for over the punch through. I just mean like the from shred to prime shred, the gain is mostly the fire rate. More punch through is not a big deal. All right, I'm catching up on chat slowly, but we're fairly behind. I'm going. Prime shred is that good? I mean, it's not like insane, but I'm just saying it's worthwhile. Yeah, for sure. If you have it, I definitely recommend you use it and level it up. I see that Ruby reference. Yeah, I know, right? Everyone is talking about Ruby references. The thing about condition overload is you got to remember this is Warframe, and even if your weapon only procs 2 statuses, there's other ones all over the place. You know, your frame, I'm sure your frame has some. Condition overload really is pretty much always the weapon you want. You got to name it Crescent Rose, man. Is 100% status good in the Galaxian? The Galaxian is just not good. It's like, it doesn't have anything to do with whether 100% status is good. The Galaxian is just not that strong. It doesn't have any, there's nothing to build on it. As you can see, here's a build for it. Let's take that off. And here we have Corrosive and Cold. Great. What else do we put on this weapon? We could put Fire Rate on it. Sure. We could put Prime Shred on it. Sure. But we already have status. And more status doesn't give us any big jump. Beam weapons are the same as non-pellet shotguns for our intents and purposes. Listen to Zandy, folks. People are people. Talk to them and listen. I know, right? Stream dating with Zandy. Yeah, I know, right? That's pretty much what we're doing. Does the Euphona alt fire count as a shotgun? If it has pellets, it counts as a shotgun with pellets. Shepard, when in doubt, just shoot it at a wall, and if you see multiple pellets, then it counts as having multiple pellets. If it's not a burst fire weapon. The Euphona Prime alt fire does count, and you should get to 100% status on it, yes. That you should build it like Tiger's Prime, basically. We should talk about that in a sec, actually, because that's a good example. Especially with the unicorn thing, with building the primary fire and the secondary fire differently. Anyway, Galaxian here, there's really nothing productive to put in these 3 other slots, which means this is just, like, there's nothing to build. You can't put critical mods in. We already put in our multi-shot and our base damage and our elements. Our status chance is already really good. You could get a little bit more status, and it wouldn't be like a massive waste, but the proportion of status output that you're getting is not very high. And again, getting to seeing the number 100% does not do anything. Like, there's no like special benefit of that. It's literally just like a % of output increase. So like when we, how can I demonstrate this? Let's take that off. We have 54% status overall. So let's say per second, we have 12 doohickeys, 12 shootings with 54% status per. So we're getting an average of 6 statuses per second. If we add high voltage, now we have 74%. So now out of our 12, 75% of them proc. So we're getting roughly 9 statuses. So we got that adding this mod increased our status output by about 50%. And you can see that 50% to 74%. If we add this mod, we get 95%. So you can see that adding that 3rd mod is increasing our output from having 9 of our 12 hits proc to having about 11 to 12 of our 12 hits proc. So that was a less than 50% increase total. We went from 9 to 11 or 12, which is a lot less than 50% status output increase. And now that we're at 95%, if we were to put on a 4th one, we would get a lot less than another less than 50% output increase. Which means that 4th status mod, this one's not awful, but that 4th one does almost nothing. It almost doesn't do anything. And so you're not really benefiting from it. You're not getting more elemental damage because you already have all this. It would be better, probably, to fill out the build by adding even more corrosive, and then giving a fire rate mod like Prime Shred or whatever. Anyway. Also, 100% status is literally useless because of how insanely fast they fire now. I mean, that doesn't make it useless because you could run something like gas or toxin. But I'm just saying the % increase in output is not large. Like, you're not actually getting that much more status. It doesn't really do anything. Again, stacking multiple mods almost never does anything. It's only with shotguns with pellets that it does. And again, Spirit and Steel, I appreciate the sentiment. I mean, Austin Brown, sorry, I appreciate the sentiment about the status thing being, like, irrelevant on beams because they have so much output. But I'm trying to make this point for all weapons. Like, all weapons. It's not specific to beams. We're just, somebody asked about Galaxian. So Shepard says, do you need to get to 100% status before multi-shot to get that magical threshold? No, Shepard, what we're trying to explain is that if it's not on a pellet shotgun, it doesn't do anything. Like, getting to that magical threshold, it's not magical. It doesn't do anything. It has no effect. Having a weapon reach 100% status does not do anything special. It's usually bad. Usually it just means you have too much status. So don't do it. It is only good on shotguns because they're dividing the status, and then they stop dividing it at 100% because of a weird math thing. And other weapons don't do that, so it's not better. You keep in mind why you are getting to 100% status. It's not just like a magical thing. It has a mechanical effect. That is why it's good. So people are talking about Maiming Strike or something. Maiming Strike doesn't make weapons good. Well, yeah, I mean, MomQuest maybe crit mods, but not even. Like, they do so little on the Galaxian. We're talking about Galaxian. I meant it in regards to shotguns. Yes, Mandalorian Shepherd. Actually, that's helpful to talk about a little bit. So with regard to shotguns in reverse, while it is true that you want to get to 100% status before multi-shot on shotguns for it to be good, if you can't, then that's a situation where you shouldn't use dual stat mods. One of the only times that you should not use dual stat mods. So for example, here I have the Corinth. This is my Corinth build, which is very one buildable with the Molly. As you can see, this weapon is 12% status, so we're not going to get to 100% status before multi-shot, which means that the Corinth is going to divide our status chance among our pellets, rather than giving each individual one the full status chance, which means we're never going to inflict statuses. So, like, I'm running 100 munitions. I would like to run viral to have the enemy's health for 100 munitions. But with 57% chance out of divided among all the pellets, realistically, that means we have like 10% chance, you know, per pellet, and then they're all independent. It's not like they add up. Technically, we have a 57% like probabilistic chance to, that's not a word, but whatever, to get one viral proc, but like no, and like it's not going to be a viral proc. It's probably going to be an IPS proc. So I've avoided viral. On this weapon, I happen to still be using 60% elements, but that's only for the alt fire. I like having the gas airburst. I think it's fun. But ultimately, these mods don't really do anything, because we're getting most of our damage from our munitions, and we're never going to proc this status, like, ever. So if the weapon is a shotgun and you're not going to get to 100% status, just use 90% elements. It really, the status won't do anything. You're never going to get it. Yeah, see, there we go. Like, Austin Brown, basically for every weapon that isn't a pellet shotgun, 100% status literally means you have a 0.01% more chance to proc than 99.99%. With shotguns, until you hit 100%, you, like, never proc anything, basically. And then when you get to 100%, you magically proc like 1,000,000 times. Are melee weapons better when used with them melee rather than quick melee? It depends. Terra, it's about combos. Usually they are better when used purely like that. So for example, Cleaving Whirlwind is a great stance. So I'm going to use this quick melee and then not, and you're going to see that it's dramatically more powerful with the stance. Oh, we can't quick melee because we don't have a gun. Okay. Whoops. Archiplasmer. Okay. Back to the drawing board. So we're going to quick melee to start. And you can see this is nothing special. It's not awful. But it's a bit slow. Right? We got 1, 2 kills, whatever. Now I'm going to reset it. And we're going to use combos. Boop. Take the weapon out. We're going to use the pause combo. So we're going to attack, attack, and then pause and swing. And you see now these enemies are melting to shreds. Like suddenly those enemies that we were plinking away at for like half a minute are just gone. Like they're all just dead. So it completely depends on combos. Terra, it 100% is dependent on combos. Some weapons, the combos are nothing special. Most good weapons, they are something special. Quick melee can still be good. Sometimes quick melee has other benefits, like allowing you to heal a little bit, like with the Hyrudo. The Hyrudo does not need to be the main weapon to heal you. So for example, let's take out the Hyrudo. So the Hyrudo has passive lifesteal on crit, but you don't have to have it as your main weapon. Additionally, one of the stances is this breakdancing thing, which some people don't like. See, I'm like breakdancing, and it's weird and like a little bit awkward and bizarre. So if you don't want that, or you want better healing output or whatever, you can make it your quick melee and punch. And it's different. So sometimes they're different, and that is a useful thing. Sometimes they have, like, this is better DPS, but not as good cleave. So it's better healing output, and you can get healing without having it be your main weapon, which is very valuable. But, get out of here. Leave me alone! So yeah, that. I hope that makes sense. Polygoat, you said, I've been playing Warframe for a bit, cleared the star chart, and have a hack that can deal with level 50 enemies. Broadly speaking, what content is open for me now that will help me advance? Polygoat, I would say you're doing sorties now. Finish the quests. You're looking at quests, so do Nata, do the Second Dream, do the War Within. And once you've done that, then you're looking at sorties. You're looking to build up to, like, Tridolons and Kuva Fortress Survival and Kuva Floods, and I guess Index if you want to, and Rathum Arena if you want to for farms, and Survivals if you want to, and also Onslaught. And that is sort of like your end game for now. So yeah, yes, I hope that makes sense. That is what the difference between quick melee and normal melee is. The difference is they're completely different, basically. It's just about how you're applying the damage. Mostly, it's better to use normal melee because of combos. Combos have hidden, like, procs and damage multipliers that are very powerful, and you should look them up in the wiki. Whenever you have a weapon that you have not been using before, you're not familiar with, you should always immediately look up the stance on the wiki to find out what the hidden procs are and stuff, because there usually are. This weapon's Broken Bull combo, for example, spamming this W, has a 300% damage multiplier, which is not stated anywhere in game. You cannot find that information in game anywhere. It's just insane and really strong. Anyway. Okay. Zenny, can we talk about how gas damage works with Sarin Spores? How Lanka gas procs spread insane damage? It's not about gas procs. Gas procs are toxin procs, just in AoE. Sarin Spores just eat the toxin proc and take it with them when they spread. That's all that's happening. It's a bit buggy, too, so that might be ruining your data if you've been trying to test that. It's just that the enemy has to survive to spread the proc, so people are saying it's the her best weapon ever if you find an enemy that will survive a shot. Yeah, probably you won't. Yep, the spore absorbs the damage that you proc it with, I believe, and then takes it with it, but only if the enemy survives. Someone said, what's Quanta Vandal? Quanta Vandal, we're just going to look at the stats and you're going to know what the build is. Quanta Vandal is a beam weapon that has good crit. Those are good crit stats, and that's good status, so you know the build. Does the Warframe you use have any effect on your Archwing? No, except for the aura. Bebop, your Warframe's aura does carry over, which is valuable. Parody Schmerity, just so I'm sorry if this was asked, it wasn't. With regards to melee combos, do you have to memorize animations because I can't pull off anything? Mostly I just remember tricks. I'm happy to help with that. There's a Joey Zero Weekly Warframe Show tip on that I wish I could pull out, but I forget what episode it's in. So I'm just going to show you some tips I use. So Cleaving Whirlwind is a common stance that you might want to do procs with. Let's look at the combos briefly, although it's not very helpful. Okay, we have whatever that is, whatever that is, whatever that is, whatever. So we know there's one that's forward. We know there's one that's pause. Let's try to perform Sundered Tusk and Broken Bull. So Sundered Tusk, let's do the basic spam. Looks like this. Pretty lame looking. And then if we push forward, then it looks like we do... Oh no, the weapon's not out, sorry. I messed up bad. Okay. If we spam, we get this basic swing combo, like that. And then if we move forward, then we're going to get this slammy slam combo automatically. We don't have to press the forward key at a certain time at all. You can just press forward and you'll do it. A lot of combos are like that, where the way they describe performing the combo is actually overly complicated, like reductively complicated. And you can actually just kind of spam it. Like that. So there we go. We did that combo. No animation timing needed. We literally just push forward randomly and spam melee randomly, and you get the combo. Now for Broken Bull, we have to pause, so that will take a little practicing. So it's after 2 swings. So what we're going to do is swing twice and get used to which swing it is, and now we're doing the combo. So we can see that if we were to just spam, it's that upswing that we're looking for. That one. So I'll press the melee button twice and then pause and then spin. And you can see that I pretty reliably get it. You just have to wait for when the right swing comes. But I don't really memorize animations for that. Usually what I do is just memorize how it feels to do the combo. So for me, you know, I have the melee stuff bound to my mouse wheel. So we go to quick melee and melee are both bound to both a key. For you, it would be E or whatever. But for me, it's W because my keyboard's different. And I mouse wheel down. So bound it also to mouse wheel down. And then very easily, you can just, for a pause combo like that, you can just rake the mouse wheel down. That was 2 swings. All I did was... Here, let's hold it up and show. So I'm going to do it like this. Rake, and then start spamming. Okay, that didn't work. Hold on. And then start spamming. Like that. So if you bind it to the mouse wheel, that eases a lot of the pain. A lot of pause combos are like that. Many pause combos are like that. And there's also a lot of hold combos where that type of ideology will remedy problems as well. Let me show you one of my favorites. Wrong weapon. Where is it? 2-Luck Fishing Spear, right. We have Bleeding Willow. Okay, so this weapon is a hold combo, 2-2 hold. So we're going to do. Again, rake again, and then I have my other key, right? So I'll rake and then hold, and suddenly I'm doing Drifting Steel. Whereas if I just spam, it looks like that. And hold, and I just easily do Drifting Steel. So I think that binding it to your mouse wheel alleviates many of the problems with performing combos. So I highly recommend you do that. I think that will help a lot. People are talking about Tempo Royale and slams. It doesn't really have more slams. Crescent Rose is, Cleaving Whirlwind, wow. Cleaving Whirlwind's forward combo is a slam that is about the same as Tempo Royale's block combo slam. So like boop, 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 and yep. We're gonna build up some speed. Boop. 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 They pulled everything in. Nice. Boop. You get the idea. So we'll swap to Tempo Royale and do the exact same thing, and you'll see it's pretty similar. Whoosh. I'm glad you caught my stream too. Welcome. What's up? But yeah, a lot of the pause combos are annoying. Like, I commiserate to some degree. It's not like they're super easy. Some of them are very annoying to perform, sure. But I think it does alleviate a lot of those problems if you use the mouse wheel to aid you. And a lot of hold combos too. So we're going to start doing the bam, So you see, like, the amount of slams is slightly more. The slam output is like a little bit higher. And you get it sooner in the combo, but spamming, you actually don't get it much faster. Right? Pretty similar, right? And then you can also do this back combo. This is actually faster slams. One of the fastest slams in the game, actually, is that back combo. Which is pretty nice. So there you go. I think that and Twirling Spires, like neutral spam, are the two fastest ones. So I'd recommend that. But yeah, if you're using it for combat with Exodia Hunt, I think Cleaving Whirlwind is fine. I don't think there's any special reason to do that. But that's just me. Your mileage may vary. And yeah, the Cleaving Whirlwind one also looks funnier. That's a big thing. That's true. Oh, juicy. Ooh. 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 Well, remember, slam attacks specifically for tentacles, it's not a different amount of slams. Like, it's still just output of slams over time. So. And you still want the weapon to, like, do damage. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Exodia Hunt and Hydra passive is new meta. It kind of is, though. Like, not a joke. Thanks a bunch. Follow-up. Is there a clear first primed mod pick in your opinion? I'm thinking currently continuity. Continuity is a pretty good one. Yeah. Let's just look at them all. Another one I would say is Reach, because normal Reach is one of the only mods where I'd say the normal version is not usable. I would almost never recommend using Reach, normal Reach, but Prime Reach is extremely good. So let's just look at all of them by rarity. So these are the Prime mods that I personally felt were worth getting, or Prime Vigor I don't think is worth getting, but it's a login reward. With maybe one exception. Let me make sure there isn't an exception. Yeah, so these are pretty much the Prime mods I recommend you actually get. There are some that are good, but I just don't personally recommend them, and there are some that are just bad. Prime Slip Magazine. What? Sorry. Also, honestly, Prime Fast Hands is like a little bit of a meme, but it's good where it's good. It's very good when it's good. So, here are some good first choices if you're going to level stuff up. Not damage ones. Nothing related to damage. Forget it. Prime Continuity, great. Goes on tons of warframes. Universally useful. You can pretty much just slap this on any warframe without even like a build in mind, and it will be helpful. So, fantastic. Let's see. Primed Regen. I believe this to be incredibly high value as long as you have Sacrifice, the Sentinel Sacrifice mod. This lets your Sentinel save your life like 4 times every mission. That's obviously a gigantic power increase. I think this mod is ridiculously powerful, and you get to use it with every loadout, so I think that's very high value, but a lot of people disagree, whatever. Primed Reach, again, in my opinion, the only mod where the non-primed version is not usable. Like, you should never use normal Reach, but Prime Reach is good. So that changes things a little bit in the sense that now you have not just a better version of a mod. There's now a new mod, basically, that you can use. Whereas most of these are the mods, like, I would use the unprimed version. Like, a lot of the time, it doesn't even really matter that much whether you have the primed or unprimed version, like Prime Flow. Although it's a decent thing to level up, but... after that, I would recommend Prime Pistol Gambit and Prime Target Cracker. These because they increase the consistency and damage of pistols to the point that they're very competitive crit weapons. The Prime Pistol Gambit in particular makes a very, very big difference and is defining of pistols scaling well. Prime Target Cracker is also obviously very good. It basically doubles the damage of pistols for crit purposes. So, yes. And then things I would not recommend prioritizing. Prime Point Blank and Prime Pressure Point, you'll almost never even see the difference, and as a newer player, these mods being non-primed and like cheap to rank up is quite a large boon, and the fact that you're getting like a pretty competitive damage bonus is good. Additionally, these Prime mods don't work the same as the others, kind of like Prime Pistol Gambit. You don't get the same amount per rank as the normal version. They're not like a proportionally better. They're actually weaker per rank. They just have more ranks. So if you get Prime Point these whatever, to rank 6 or 7, they're actually still not better than your rank 5 normal point blank or your rank 5 normal pressure point. You have to get them to like 8 or 9 for them to even be better. I think it's 7 that they become a tiny bit better, which is a pretty big endo investment to not actually have a better mod. So I highly recommend never ranking these up until the very end. They are a big damage increase, but shotguns, you pretty much already kill everything you shoot, and melee, like, come on. Anyway, go figure. I also don't highly recommend primed heated charge and prime cryo rounds. I recommend a prime heated charge more. These are both good. There are situations you'll use them in. They're good when they're good. It's that kind of thing, but they're not good very often. Their utility is pitiful compared to these, and that's still pitiful compared to these, and that's still pitiful compared to these. So I wouldn't do it. Prime Fever Strike is better. I think Prime Fever Strike is a pretty broadly useful mod. There are a lot of situations where you do want a crap ton of toxin on a weapon, so sure. Prime Ravage gets a special note. There are very few guns that Primed Ravage is good on, but the ones it's good on are bad without it. So it's the kind of thing where, like, if you want to use the Corinth or kind of the Archiplasmor, or Vacor Heck, especially if you want to use Vacor Heck, you need this mod or it's bad. So, you know what I mean? It might become like a rather big priority. Austin Brown says, thing is, Prime Point Blank is the only way to make the Vacor Heck better than regular Heck. No, that's Prime Ravage. You're thinking of Prime Ravage. Until you get Primed Ravage leveled up, the Hex Augment makes it better than the Vacor. Yeah. So exactly, if you want to do that, then like you need Primed Ravage. So I would say Prime Ravage is another one where like I wouldn't even build critical shotguns at all without Prime Ravage. So I, like, get it, I guess, if you want to do that, but you might not want to do that. Not the same as with Prime Target Cracker, where like you're gonna build critical pistols, like whether you like it or not. So you better just get this mod. Prime Fury, you get it as a login reward. It's good on some weapons. It increases finisher speed, which Berserker does not, so go for it. Etc. And then Prime Shred is very good, but it's a login reward. Prime Vigor I don't recommend. It's a login reward. Is that it? I think Prime Flow is pretty low value. I think it is actually not amazing. Normal flow will do the job most of the time. There are not a lot of situations where you're going to have that much energy maxed out. Go figure. Anyway, great. Nikana Prime or make a Nikana Za? Nikana Prime. Surprisingly, if you want to use Exodias, then make a Nikana Za, of course. But Nikana Prime, I do think is a little bit better. I will say they're both not that impressive. Like, they're both not that good. Nikanas are a little behind the times on stances and stuff. So I don't really recommend either, to be completely honest with you. But if you want to use one because they look cool, which is a great reason, whichever one you think looks cooler, they're very close. They're very, very close. So that. Let me go back up because I'm missing stuff. Shadow Shy, I haven't watched Magic, by the way. Magic, however you say that. Good stuff. So if I don't have any decent melee setup right now, what's some fairly attainable stuff for you to reach for? Work toward Blood Rush. Someone said work toward Blood Rush. That's what I was going to say. Condition Overload is good to work toward, but it's rare and a little expensive. No, Austin Brown, I meant to be going off of your comment. I didn't mean to be making you feel bad. I'm sorry. I was just trying to say, like, what I wanted people to not, like, call out what you said, because what you said made perfect sense. You just meant Prime Ravage. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Dressound, you've said that a couple times now, and I think I just missed your question. Can you just go ahead and say it again? It's okay. It's all right. Well, but the thing is, Austin Brown, it's not like Prime Ravage is only good on shotguns that are bad. Like, there are shotguns that are worth using that Prime Ravage is good on. That's not true. That's just not true. Somebody said, with all due respect, I disagree about prime pressure point and point blank not being that good. I don't think you really listened to me, because I didn't say they weren't good. It's just that they're not very high value, because with shotguns that are good, you're already killing them. Like, this numerically increases your damage by a huge amount, like an absolutely insane amount. Base damage increase mods being stronger is obviously a gigantic advantage, because they multiply everything. Your crits get bigger, your status procs, if they do damage, get bigger, your slash procs get bigger, everything gets bigger. It's a huge damage increase, of course. But the problem is that shotguns already do gigantic amounts of damage. Like, when was the last time you shot something with Tiger's Prime and it didn't die? Like, never. That's when. Like, for most players. And so adding more damage, it doesn't do anything. Like, you can invest in it, and it does give you more damage, but it doesn't actually change gameplay. And that is the thing that people always miss. They always insist, no, it's a huge damage increase. Yes, I know, but it doesn't actually change how the game plays. Like, you won't notice, you know? That's how Primed Reach is such a good choice, because you will notice. Like, Reach wasn't even a usable mod before, and then suddenly you level it up Prime Reach, and you're like, whoa, there's a new mod, and weapons can have insane range now. Like, that completely changes the nature of the game. Like, the very nature of Warframe is different when you get Primed Reach. Which is why I think it's such a good choice, because it actually affects gameplay. Prime Pistol Gambit, Prime Target Cracker enable critical weapons. They're not as big of a damage increase to the weapons they're on as, like, Prime Point Blank is. This is a bigger numerical damage increase for the weapons you put it on, but it doesn't affect gameplay as much as these do. These give you so much consistency, they make so many weapons more viable and consistent. You feel it when you play. Whereas with these mods, you don't feel it when you play. You don't feel it at all. These weapons were already killing everything in their path with absolutely no trouble. And that is what I said, and that is what I mean. That's why they're not a priority, because you honestly won't notice. The content where you would need this damage just is not in the game right now. It's just not there. And that is why they are less of a priority. It's not a matter of opinion about how much damage they do, because it doesn't have anything to do with how much damage they do. It's not arguable whether they do lots of damage. They do lots of damage. That is what I have to say about that. I hope that makes sense. It is a perfectly good question. Bah, looks like a lot of people understood. That's nice. What scholars you are. Shepard, you said, but you're a primed flow and quick primed flow and quick thinking guy, yeah? Yeah, but regular flow and quick thinking is good, as Jack Phillips had said. It's still good with it. The point is that, like, a lot of the time when you're using prime flow and quick thinking, you don't have full energy, so having a smaller energy pool is not good. It doesn't really make you functionally less survivable. And a lot of the time, the true power of the survivability gain from quick thinking is that you can regenerate energy while taking damage, like from energy orbs or from Zenric energy over energizing dash or whatever, to fill up your energy bar again. Which makes primed flow less of a gain, because you're really regenerating energy, you know. So yes, but it's still good. Like, it still can be a useful mod. And there are some situations, like farming situations, where having a huge energy pool is helpful. My question was, does Stand United work on Arcane Guardian and Arcane Ultimatum? Well, damn, in the time that you'd been waiting, you could have tested it. No, it doesn't. The armor gain from Arcane Guardian, stuff like it, is not affected by anything. It's never affected by anything. It adds to your total final armor, your total final modded armor. It adds to that. It will affect things like Warframe powers, like Iron Skin and stuff, but it is not affected by them. That's a good question, but no, it does not work. Unfortunately, Stand United is not that good. I wish it was. I really do, but... Sorry, I'm catching up. Jose, you said, would you use Blood Rush and Body Count on a high status Saw? 10 critical chance and 32 status chance? I don't think I would build a high status chance Saw. I would build a high status chance Saw, but not that high. All you have to do is make it 14% critical chance and 25% status chance, and then Blood Rush is really good. So I don't know what to say. No, I don't think 10% is quite high enough. You should still use you should use drifting contact, not body count, but you should still use the combo counter mod. But yeah, again, it's tricky because I wouldn't build that Zaw. It's not that I wouldn't use Blood Rush on it. I wouldn't build it in the first place. Just make it have a little more critical chance and a little less status chance. You see that this weapons-based stats are built with that philosophy, and it has 14% critical chance and 25% status, so I just adjusted it a little bit. Still mostly status chance, but it's got enough crit chance for it to be viable. So that's what I'd recommend. I hope that helps. I'm sorry I didn't get to you before you built that, but honestly I recommend that you build it differently. With that amount of crit, I would not recommend it though, no. There could be reasons to build a high status chance Zaw, but I don't think in general that it is better. I'm trying to catch up, folks, but there's a lot. There's a lot. Hey, Zandy, I'm back. Hi, Damajan. Maybe I missed it, but how do you feel about Prime Fast Hands on something like Vectis Prime? I would say yes. It's just that my Vectis Prime build already has depleted reload, so I wouldn't. It's redundant. But in principle, sure. If you don't want to use depleted reload, then, or maybe you're not using Charged Chamber, which would then make it not that good. Sure. By all means, go for it. This is my Gambler's Vectis Prime, which I have a video on. If you search Gambler or Vectis on my channel, you'll find it. Great video. Check it out. Rumor has it Sacrifice is coming mid-May. It's coming with reworked particles, and reworked particles were announced to arrive this month. Don't quote me on it. Haha, you said rumor. I could see that. Sure. But I don't think that's much of a rumor. I think it's just like that's what the timeline makes sense, and if it's not done by then, they're not going to put it out by then. But sure, yeah, that makes sense. Any tips on leveling up amps? Just go operator mode while you're running Hydron, and it'll get leveled up just fine. But explicitly, no. I've heard some people recommend Spy, but personally, I never really had to. When was the last time you shot something with a Tiger's Prime and it didn't die? You didn't. That's when. It's true. Austin Brown, it's true, man. I'm dead too, and so are all of those enemies you shot. Anyway, yeah, Sacrifice will be before TennoCon. I expect it to come out in like 22 years or so. I know, right? Okay, we're catching up. There was a lot of non-question comments. Hey Zandy, when should I use Equilibrium in my builds? Oh, Vince, a mod after my own heart. Equilibrium is a very interesting mod. The short version is that I do not recommend. I have no builds. I do not currently have a build for you where Equilibrium is actually good, except for Necros. On Necros, it is incredible and it is functionally unlimited energy. You just have infinite energy forever, and it's amazing and totally irreplaceable. But it is not really good anywhere else. Allow me to show you my Necros build, which you can, of course, look up. There's a video. Trick or Treat Necros. You can have terrible efficiency because every time you get a health orb, which you will be getting literally constantly because you're Necros, you will get energy, which is insane. You'll get a ridiculous amount of energy. You will always have full energy all the time. You can spam all your abilities as much as you want with max negative efficiency, and you will never run out of energy. Awesome, awesome mod. Shotgun Scavenger's a meme here. Ignore that. But I mean, there's a reason I have it, but I don't want to talk about that. So the short answer is Necros. However, Equilibrium has a spicy amount of potential. It has potential in some funny ways. So part of the problem here, let's talk about this mod. So the energy pickup giving 110% health, that's not very good. Getting 25% health, or what it makes it like 27% health, whatever, a very low amount of health. That's not valuable. That's never going to be valuable. You're never going to get an amount of energy orbs that is going to make that like a significant source of healing. It's not awful, it's not like not useful, but it's not like, that's not going to be a build, However, health orbs giving you energy, okay, now we're talking. That could be a pretty big, a big source of energy. So Oberon's Reckoning, when you kill enemies with it, they have a chance to spawn a health orb, reasonable chance to spawn a health orb. And the Broken Scepter, which I famously deleted, unfortunately, also can give you health orbs when you drain fleshy targets with its special ability. That's good. And then you could potentially make use of it by running the Hema. And when you reload the Hema, you take a tiny bit of damage. You have to prick your arm. That lets you take damage on command, which means you can always pick up health orbs. The other problem with the health orb part is that sometimes you'll just have full health and you can't pick up a health orb. Whereas energy, you can always spam an ability and, pick up energy. So that lets you pick up health orbs on command because you can hurt yourself a little bit on command. Cool, maybe. That is another way. Both of those ways are ways that you could possibly make health conversion good on more builds, whereas currently I would only recommend it on, you guessed it, Necros. Sorry, my head was covering the mod. Let's go back. Yep, equilibrium. Boop. That.
Ugh.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Oh no, you sound sick. You sound very sick.
I am not sick. What do you mean?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sick is my girlfriend? Oh god, yeah, Broken Scepter's fine, folks. Don't remove Broken Scepter. Don't delete Broken Scepter. I have to contact support and get mine back because I need it for videos. I need it for what I just described, man. Anyway, somebody said, "Are you gonna do Tridolons?" Cortel Mesa, it's too late. I'm gonna get off pretty soon. I have this sloth child on me.
Take care of me.
I know.
Stop paying attention to them and pay attention to me.
Look at this troubled. Look at this troubled blob. Your face looks so funny. Anyway, 13.7. Ooh, hella sick. I once met a rhino who used health conversion, Broken Scepter, Hema to power up his iron skin. See? Yeah, stuff like that. Vasil, that's a good example. Oh my god, you're literally dying. This is so bad. Don't feel bad. My friend deleted his Zenistar. I know, right? That's...
Look, I'm Zandy. Ooh.
4-armed content creator. Okay. Let me go back up. I missed something I wanted to answer. Somebody said, "How do you still find stuff to do in Warframe?" Being a content creator is the true endgame, man. If you are the content creator, then you always have stuff to do. That is how. I do think there's a good amount of stuff to do. Oh god. She's like, "Why? Let me go, you monster." Anyway, and somebody asked something about there was something I wanted to answer, but I can't find it now. Damn. Anna is sick out of 10, it's true. That's Prime Fever Strike sick. Ooh, savage. No, that's friggin' you little racist.
Love me.
No, you massive.
Love me.
Infected marshmallow.
Ow. Ow.
You little turnip. You'll survive for 5 minutes. I'll be right there. Are you hungry?
I had the rest of your bone broth.
Okay, that was nice of you.
I knew you wanted me to have it.
Yeah, I definitely... Wow.
I had.
That's not the worst. You're not the worst. Blah. Man, does that mean I need to be social to get Warframe Endgame? I mean, I don't know. I actually think there's plenty. Like, if you... Let's see. So you can do, like, the like, somewhat hard things would be, like, Sorties, Onslaught, Index, Rathrum, sort of. Tridolons. That's kind of... And then Endless runs if you like that. So, like, Endless Kuva, Kuva Survival if you wanted to do that. Or, like, Mott or whatever. That's a good amount of stuff. Like, you've got Onslaught, you've got... Rothium Index stuff if you want to farm things. You've got Swordies, you've got Tridolons. Like, that's already a decent little selection. I think it's kind of okay. Building weapons, forming out weapons, making new builds, making all the relevant Zaws, making relevant arcanes, getting relevant arcanes, Exodias, etc. That stuff. I'm not even done with that. I'm not even finished doing that. What are you doing? What is this weird sicky dance?
I'm trying to turn your viewers off to you so they leave so that you'll pay attention to me.
That won't work. I stream all the time with no views. What about when I play like Magic and there's like 20 people watching? I don't care. Get out of here. I'll be done in just a sec. I am gonna get off in a sec. Such the loving romantic partner. Yes, Gabe. Your question was the one I wanted to answer. Zany, will we see any more goofy builds like the Wukong Iron Vault Exodia build? That's not a goofy build. That's like a very serious, powerful build. So, Gabe, you're actually talking about two builds. So there's the Iron Vault build with the Glaive Explosion. That one actually doesn't work anymore. They removed that very, very recently, actually. I thought they might remove that. You know, I said in the video, maybe we keep this unlisted. We keep this on the down low. And it did indeed get removed. I mean, it should have. It was broken. But you're talking about the Wukong sucks thing. That's not a goofy build at all. That's a very serious, powerful build. It looks ridiculous, of course, but it is not a non-serious build. It's a very serious build. Let's do this. So we have Exodia Hunt. We have, whatever. It doesn't really matter, not to get the point across. And here is the Wukong sucks build. They might have nerfed the Exodia thing, but let's test it right now. I already have another Wukong thing anyway. So if they did get rid of it, I can make something new. Maybe we'll make that. That would be a priority to replace that, so I have a Wukong video that is current. But I already came up with something. Ha! Joke's on you. I DGAF if anyone is watching. Yeah, Gege plays Bringing the Pain. He has that idea too. Yep, still works. Still good. Definitely still worth doing. Oh, baby. Ooh, crunchy. Ooh, the infinite suck. Ooh, baby. Yeah, so see, that's still legit. So, again, it looks silly, but it's not. So, Gabe, the reason I wanted to answer that question is because they're not... I never make silly builds. I always just make builds that I think will be fun and good. And then, like, some of them look ridiculous and some of them look very serious, and I don't care which they are. I just always make them... I just always make them regardless of whether they seem serious or not. And if they end up being silly, then go figure, but I always make sure they are good. The way that I make builds is first and foremost based on them being fun and interesting to use, if possible. And second of all, for them being viable for whatever endgame content we have. And then third being, like, fun and janky. Interesting, having a good proof of concept. And entertaining the sloths. But yeah. In all seriousness, no, don't lick the back of my neck. That's disgusting. You little barnacle. Could you, listen, you little sloth child. You little child sloth that hangs on to their parent for years and years of their life.
Yes.
Can you just, like, be affectionate without trying to, like, slather your... saliva all over the back of my neck? I just, like, can you explain me a thing? What about you slathering on my neck is going to make me stop streaming?
I took some drugs.
Yeah? What drugs did you take?
I don't know. It said nasal decongestant, so I took them.
Oh Christ, you're gonna, like, pass out. Alright, go sit down. No, go somewhere else.
They like me.
Yeah. problem. Go make a YouTube channel. Like, every week, she's like, I don't have anything to do. Like, go make a YouTube channel. Instant money. Anyway, yeah, no, Spirit and Steel, I mean, I'm overheating too. I need to stop streaming. I'm planning to stop streaming. I just wanted to establish that. Gabe, I really do make videos, the framework build type videos anyway, ignorant to whether or not they're like weird looking, like goofy or jokey looking. I just make them with the idea of them being fun and interesting to play and good. In mind. And if you look through framework, like if you look through all the frameworks, don't watch them. Yeah, please watch them. But you don't have to watch them. Just scan through them, and if you know what they are, if you think about it, they vary quite significantly in whether they are like silly or not. Because I ignored that, and they're all similar power level. They are all viable. Is the point. And that is the goal. The goal of the series is just to make interesting, viable builds for everyone. And then, like, if they have personality, they have personality. If they're technical, they're technical. They all have some strength, and hopefully watching them benefits people. The series is not meant to be or not be a, like, joke series. It's just meant to have everything. It's meant to just be the best series. I will say, however, that once content creators get less busy and I can do more collaborations, we are going to make that series that's, like, 2 Warframes that synergize together. That series is probably going to be more in the area of like meme builds a little bit. Some of them are powerful, but like really ridiculous. Like there's very ridiculous ones. Yes. Anyway, that. So again, they'll happen. I'm not gonna like avoid them, but I want them to be good, because part of the point of my build series is to get people to understand that builds being like good or meta is just not relevant. It's just irrelevant. Like that doesn't mean they're boring. It doesn't mean they're fun. It doesn't mean they're good. It doesn't mean they're bad. It's just they are what they are. Don't like go listen to someone saying this is my EP is over 9,000 and if you use this build you'll do tons of damage, and then people are like, but this build is boring, and that's because it's meta. Somehow I made that connection, they say to themselves, and then they throw that idea out and they're like, well, if we make builds that are not meta, then they'll be really fun. And then people talk about like my builds as sometimes you get people talking about my builds as like, these are janky and non-meta and therefore fun and also not meta, because I connected those things at some point, which I should not have, but I forgot about that. Like, no, unconnect those things. Do not connect those things. That is bad. That's why people have these stagnant views of the game where they feel like they have to farm everything and they have to use meta builds or whatever that even means in this game. It doesn't even mean anything in this game. At first, framework would include, like, if there are meta builds for a frame, and then I was like, there aren't even. Like, there just doesn't exist. Anyway, okay, whatever. I had my fun. I'll see y'all next time. As people are aware, that's the stream schedule right there. Thanks for being here. I got very few questions about my head wound, which is great. I thought it was going to be a massive distraction, but it wasn't. This stream came a long way. We were going to do making a video on stream, but it didn't end up being that way, and that's totally fine. I had a good time. We will do the question streams. This just teaches me that people want to ask questions, and I should just not make a theme. Yes. Joseph McGee says, there are only 2 things. You can count the things. 1 and 2. Those are the only 2 things. That's it. They exist. There you go. Right. Like, you have to break it open a little bit. The build video isn't helpful if you just like if you don't break it open, you know? What's your favorite fashion frame you've put together? Oh man. It's gotta be the Cash Money clickbait Excalibur from that video. One of my most successful videos, I might add. The pay-to-win Endgame Excalibur thing, man, that's just classic. I love that. Where the hell is the Hystrix? Okay. This friggin' fashion is like... Listen, I paid a lot of money for the Tenogen that you need to make this fashion, but... Oh, like, I made a lot of money off of that video. Like, oh baby. Should we check? Do you want to know how much? We can take a look. Talk a little bit more about like creator stuff. Yeah, it's true, Mom Quest. It does blend in pretty well. Bye-bye, Gukas. Thanks for saying hello. Being here for a little bit. There's no Jack Phillips. There's no story about the head wound. I was just saying. I was curious. I had a bad skin that broke and is an open wound, so I'm covering it up for health, and because it's uncomfortable, of course. Let's look at the. Wow, it comes up really fast.
Hey, not bad.
Hey, I got to follow on Twitch. Thanks, Devil. Welcome to my Twitch. Y'all should go in the description and follow me on Twitch. Let's see. I want like overview statistics for this. How did it do? Overall, let's do lifetime. So we're talking about here. Maybe I'll link the video for those that have not seen. It's like that. Oh no, of course, Gabe. I mean, the goal is to have there be a mix of those. By the way, if you recall, Gabe, from the Wukong video, it had this concept of like having a B-side, like a sort of like other build on the other side of it. That's gonna continue. That's gonna be a feature of the next run of Framework as well. I haven't included many of those, but I experimented with it and people seem to enjoy it. So there will be more like B-sides, which will be like partial other frameworks that like didn't make the cut or whatever, and they're usually more janky and less viable. I will do that more. Wait, what? A fall on Twitch while you're streaming on YouTube? Is that normal? Yeah, usually we get more. I've actually only had one this stream. Which is surprising. Usually it's more. There's a link in the description. I mean, people follow it all the time. And I get random follows like pretty frequently. Sometimes I'm recording and I get one that's actually pretty inconvenient, but whatever. Okay, let's see. Okay. So that video I linked, just for fun statistics. That video has 114,000 views. I made about $100 off of it. I've made about $100 off of it. It is just literally 4 minutes and 57 seconds of talking about this fashion. And I did pay money for this fashion. You know, I had to buy this Tenogen skin. I had to buy this Sayandana. These are pretty hard to get. I had to buy this armor. It was probably more than $10, but I made easily $100 off of that video. So it went very, very well. I don't know if I'm happy that video is doing so well, though. I don't know. It's like my 3 most popular videos are the Drift Frame Racing video, the, oh, hey, look, a sub. That's nice. All right, let's stop talking about that and thank the person for the sub, and then I'll go help Anna. Phillips, thanks for the sub. I really appreciate it. You should look at watch my stream here. Okay, Anna's coming. Okay, goodbye, I'm gonna leave. I'm escaping. Go watch me on Twitch at these times. Phillips, thank you for the sub. Will you ever bring back the Sick Tech series? Josh Merritt, it kind of became, I'm going to answer that really quick before I go. Sick Tech became Framework, pretty much. Josh Merritt, if you've seen my new series, Tools of the Trade, that's kind of similar. Like, the idea is to do the same thing. But Tools of the Trade is currently very formulaic at the moment. Because I will do a jump. You're right. We have to do the jump for the follows. I forgot about that. Curses. But also, yes, I forgot. Thank you for the sub. Yes. That's very similar. You should watch Tools of the Trade and think about Sick Tech, and you'll probably like it. But you should also keep in mind that Tools of the Trade is beginning with simple builds and moving to more janky builds. So Season 2, Season 3, as it goes on, will be more like Tools of the Trade. I really like Sick Tech. I just didn't think it was formatted well. I don't think people got what it was, like what the point of it was. So I've kind of been trying to remarket it, and one of the ideas that Tools of the Trade was founded on was to revive Sick Tech later. So later seasons, like when we get into Season 2, Season 3, you'll see. Follow along with that series. I promise that it will not disappoint you if you're looking for Sick Tech. A couple of the weapons in Sick Tech already are going to be in that series as well. So I hope that you enjoy it. You'll get a new one of those very soon. I'm sorry videos have been slow, but we're working on them for this week. We're going to start that back up because I have to test a few monetization things to save us from the blacklist. But that should also clear up pretty soon, so it's fine. No worries about that. Thank you all for being so supportive. There it is. Phillips, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. But the stream is about to end.
He's naked.
Psychedelic also thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You all will not let me stop. Okay, no, we're done. Your support is too overwhelming. I need to go. For my health. For the children. For our cat that is our child. And for my partner who is kind of sick but mostly just trolling me.